Yes. Okay. Hello all. Here we are. Me, Anni, you know me already, and my sweet friend Mandy from Texas.
Hello.
So nice to see you all caffeine quitters and all other viewers wherever you are. And welcome to this today evening live, which we just wanted to do very randomly and pop up and just talk and chat.
Yep.
So what's up?
Yep. What's a pop-up? A pop-up.
Pop up. Everybody is welcome to the chat. I just checked that everything works. Yes. And can you, by the way, see the chat, Mandy? If you want, you can see.
Yes, I'm going to go in there. Yes.
Yes, it works. Works good. Yes, and I will see the chat here in the other screen. So, Mandy, you can just start to tell how are you doing.
Yeah, good. So when did we make a video last? Like a week ago or 2 weeks ago? A week and a half ago?
Yes,
Not too
we
long
made
ago.
a video in my 5 years update and you 4 years and 10 months. And now
Yeah.
this month,
So,
my 5 year and 1 month will be this month and you will be almost
yep.
5. My God.
I know. I know. I'm like barely a month and a half away.
Yay!
So exciting. So yeah, I mean, not too much has happened. Oh, whoa, no, yeah. Always something happening, right?
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, so last weekend, I went to my friend's beach house. She lives on the beach, but it's not the island part. So there's Galveston Island and then there's the Crystal Beach part, but it's still the beach and it's lovely there. And her and her husband have their own linen service where they provide linens for the beds and then the towels for people that rent the beach houses. So they are affiliated with a realty service, and then that helps them. I think they have like 200 customers, but it's not all at the same time. And so in the spring and summer, they get really busy and she needs extra help. And so she asked me, because we were kind of estranged, the last few years. We've been friends 26 years, but we were a little bit estranged from our friendship because of recovery,
Yes,
like it
yes.
was just, I just couldn't connect. Or it's so interesting. I'm backsliding on that right here just to talk about how, because of that, we do that sometimes, right? We like
It's
start telling a
okay.
story or talking about something and it's like it reminds you of the beginning of recovery. And it was just the way that I can connect with her now and even drive down there. I couldn't even call her on the phone. Like that's how disconnected I was.
Yes.
And if we did talk every now and then and she would tell me a story that had nothing to do with symptoms or recovery, I just could not listen. I couldn't relate. I was like, she would laugh or she would tell and I was just like, I would pretend like I was laughing, and
Yes.
no connection. Like it was so awful. And all I wanted to talk about was symptoms and how I felt and me and recovery. It seemed selfish, but it wasn't because I couldn't relate. I couldn't connect.
Yeah.
But anyway, so just that whole um, contrast of how I can, I drive myself down there. I love going down there. I love being at the beach. Just so much more connection with just not even just the friendship, but the driving and the listening to music and just the freedom and being able to look around and to still not even be 100%, but so different. I mean, if I
Yes.
really think about it, if I really think about the beginning of this journey, or even the way that it was on substances, um, oh my goodness, so different. So anyway, I can talk about the contrast all day long, but I'm down there. I get there last Thursday and she's busy. Again, she's busy. I think she had 16 deliveries that day. So we just delivered the sheets and it's heavy like because some places have up to 30 beds. They can sleep 30 people. We
Yeah.
got people coming in. Hey,
Yes.
what's up
Hi.
everybody?
Hi. Hi all. Gibby.
We got 2 people on. Yeah, so this is good
Yes.
for me to just tell my story now while people
Yes.
are
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
on.
Yes.
But yeah, so I think there were 16 deliveries that day and heavy, heavy, heavy bags. And my friend has always been very fair because she knew me as our whole friendship. I was out of shape for the most part because I was drinking a lot of caffeine. I was drinking a lot of alcohol. I was eating terribly. And I just was, over the years, just got more and more out of shape. And she was a big athlete, a runner. I was in the drill team, whatever, but still, she was just more athletic naturally. So back in the day when we used to work at restaurants, she would carry the heavy trays for me when we worked together. Like, she's just always been that way for me. And I was always kind of like the weak link in a way. And, and I think about that a lot. And I think about how I'm getting stronger and stronger now.
Yeah.
So bring it back to present times, she's still kind of having to carry me in a way. Like, I could look at it that way. But when I think about where I've been the last 5 years, where I was the 20 years before that with her, because it's been 26-year total friendship, I definitely see a complete difference, but I do see where I still am kind of the weaker link, but not really. I mean, my ego or old beliefs could pop up that I am,
Yeah.
even though I'm the sober one, I'm the one doing the work, blah, 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 blah. I'm not trying to compare because
Yeah, yeah.
she does still drink. But I think that in recovery, however long it takes to recover, and there can be so many different forms of recovery or levels to it, that this is still part of recovery
Yeah.
with the behavioral stuff, the wounds, and just, I like to call it conditioning now. Like, I can actually condition my body more than before I could do it.
Yeah.
So she was being fair, like she always has been, and she was carrying the heavier bags. But if it was a larger house, then I would carry one, she would carry two, and I would carry the mesh bag. But I'm going upstairs. Like, just even if I wasn't carrying a bag, the fact that I was going up stair after stair after stair, because these beach houses are high up, is so, I mean, that's kind of like working out,
It
I mean,
is.
I wasn't fatigued. I felt, the only thing that I would say, I was cautious because I didn't know how I was going to feel the next day. So I didn't want to push too much and like run up the stairs. I probably could have carried more bags. I probably
Yeah.
could have just sucked it up and did it, but I wanted to be cautious. And I think that's fair. I think that's giving compassion to myself and not trying to look like the hero and carry all the heavy
Yes.
bags.
Yes.
So, but the fact that I could go up one set of stairs, much less 16 that first day, plus just getting up to the house itself is a set of stairs. And then inside, some are 2 and 3 stories, and you're going up to those bedrooms. And so I was in my head a little bit like, oh God, more stairs, but only because of where I've been, but the fact that I could do it compared to like couch to mailbox, I could barely do, or
Yeah.
taking a shower
Yes.
was so incredibly
Yes.
challenging. I'd be exhausted after a shower. So the improvements are like, and so that was really, really exciting. So we did 3 days in a row. I did 3 days in a row. Friday and Saturday were not as many. We had pickups because if you deliver, you have to pick up the dirty stuff. So, and you get paid. And like, I haven't, the cool thing is because before on substances, like, okay, I did a job, I got paid. Okay, that was dopamine. That was exciting. I really wasn't even thinking about the money. Like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, this is kind of a job, I'm getting paid. But just the fact that I could do it,
Yes.
and I was with her and I was outside and I was getting exercise and we were having fun because she drives her truck, because it's you got to have the truck to have all the stuff in the back, because I have a car and I couldn't do it just with my car. So she's driving and we're talking as we go through to different beach houses, and I kind of felt like I was along for the ride and just enjoying the scenery and all. And the cool thing too, you get to go into all the different beach houses and see all the different designs and all how it's decorated, and that was really cool. Just really, just so different. And that was probably the first time I'd ever done that amount of exercise or exertion. And I was there a month and a half ago, and we did 1 day of deliveries, and we actually made beds. And I'm even stronger than I was a month and a half ago because, like I said, I'm in that conditioning phase where, of course, a month and a half ago, I was a little bit less
Yeah.
strong than I was this time because of that conditioning. So the next time I go, I'll be even a little bit
Yes.
stronger.
Yes.
So before I couldn't do conditioning. I couldn't.
That's so amazing. And I'm
So yeah,
so
long story short. No.
so proud of you and just so happy to hear all that. And
Yeah.
like we always say, we get back to the life, we get back to functioning normal and better than ever, and in so many ways. And sometimes still I have to remind myself when I'm out and about and going, that what I went through, like what I actually went through, like just a while ago I wasn't still able to do so many things. I didn't handle the stress like I do now. I had these symptoms. Even we always have been saying that it's like it was ups and downs. For me, it was ups and downs till the end. It was like that's why
Yeah.
I have been wanting to be honest. I have shared my story. It's all out there. If you want to watch our previous videos, me and Mandy, we have been sharing everything. If you just did pop up or jump in, we have been sharing our caffeine-free stories, and everyone of course can be different, but I think for us this is just so, there's so much like humbleness now what we do, and also when I still keep helping others, because I just couldn't stop do that. Even now I could, do other things too, but
Yeah.
I think always my heart goes out with the people who are in recovery.
So much so. Yes. So much so. We get it. We get it. And I love that you said that because I'm still we talked about this in the last
Yeah.
video that I'm still on the other side.
Yes.
And so, and I want to be honest too. So when I got home after, because the first time I was there a night. Second time it was 2 nights. This time I was there 3 nights, 4 days. And I could have worked the 4th day, but I listened to my body. I don't think anything would have happened, but I was just like, you know what? I did enough. And when I got in my car, I was just like, I have choices. And I felt free. And I felt like, oh my goodness, the more and more I recover, I'm going to be able to do everything and like have all the physical, once I'm conditioned to that level, like I'm going to have all the mental and the physical. And then a song came on. What was it? From the movie Flashdance, What a Feeling.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite, and that's something that we get with the dopamine. It's that nostalgic, that memory, and it makes
Yes.
you feel like that's why when we're doing nothing and we're just in our body, we can go to a memory or a nostalgic good feeling and just feel good. We always get those feely good glimpses off and on. Well, I did off and on in recovery. I don't want to say for everybody, but I
Yeah.
think most people talk about that, where we get that like that
Yes.
glimpse of like,
Yeah.
oh, what was that? Like something to hold on to while we're recovering. And it just becomes more and more. But then I think it becomes more stable.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I had a really high of that on the drive home. I was in my car. There's this movie, very popular. I know you know of it. The newer one's called Maverick. I think Top Gun, the original Top
Yeah.
Gun, when he's driving his car and he's singing the song, "Now I'm free, free falling," and Tom Cruise is just
Yes.
singing. He's got the window down and he's like jamming. That's how I felt. I was just like free and singing with the window down. But sometimes I've noticed when I get really high like that and have a good end, it's like a good end to my window. Then the next day or day after, I have a little bit of a dip. And so I'm glad, that's why I was glad you brought that up, because, and me being honest too, for about 2, I would say, so I got home Sunday night. Monday midday, I started to feel a little bit, it was like, first it felt like tiredness, and then it felt like a little bit of blahness. And then I just kind of wanted to just stay on the couch. And that's the body resting. That's the body.
Yeah.
That's what we always talk about. It's like the depressed, deep rest. I don't feel like I was depressed, but it was blahness, and it just didn't feel as good as the weekend. And so then we can get in our head and then we can think like, oh my goodness. But I pushed through. And then Tuesday was like really a rest day. And in our mind, like in my mind, I'm like, I want to be go, go, go all the time.
Yeah.
I want, like, we've
Yes.
been in a coma for however
Years.
long and years. And I
Yeah.
just wanted to be like, so I get a little, that's when I'm like, okay, Mandy, compassion, grace for yourself. And then Wednesday midday, it started to lift slowly. And then yesterday I was at the home improvement store, pushing my little basket, singing singing the tunes and talking to people. Like this one guy, he had all this project stuff. I was like, oh, you got a big project going on. He was like, yeah, building a chicken coop. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I saw him again and we had a conversation and I'm like, I get my social time at the home improvement store. Like just dopamine. It's dopamine. It really is. And then when it shuts down, because I did kind of Monday, Tuesday, I felt shut down to rest. It was that energy being spent because like I said, if you're conditioning, depending on where you are in your conditioning, you do have to have rest days.
Yeah.
No matter what. And so, yeah, so that's where I am. And then I believe because I'm kind of, and I'll just, we tell a lot about I was in ovulation being a female.
Yeah.
I was in ovulation in that window or that wave of just this past beginning of the week on Monday and Tuesday. And I could feel my estrogen rising. Like I could literally feel it. And when your nervous system, this is important. When your nervous system is regulated, as humans, when our nervous system is regulated and working, properly and fully functioning, then ovulation time for a female is supposed to be high energy and go, go, go. And we look better because, it's time to make a baby. And it's just time for like more social. And I was always like that on substances, but everything kind of got turned backwards when I was recovering because it was a lot of, fight or flight and just the body being in that protective state, survival state. And so, I can get in my head and think like, oh, it's hormone issues and things like that. But it's the nervous system always is in charge of all the other systems. Then I'll have this break, I believe, and then I'll start my cycle. It's all a cycle, but my period. I don't know if that's TMI for too many people, but start my period. And I do believe I'm going to have some downtime, but that downtime is rest time. I know it's hard to believe. And when you're feeling it, it just feels, no one wants to feel that, but it is that resistance is the recovery. And then you don't go back to substances. You don't give in, you don't medicate because that's what the brain wants, the nervous system. And then you just, every time you get a little bit stronger when you come out of it. And when I'm feeling good, I say it's a beautiful journey. When I'm feeling bad, of course, I'm just kind of poopy, but not bad, but I want to change my vocabulary. I've been trying to work on my vocabulary with that and not say it's bad or hell or, we all say it's the things, but challenging moments, because it's more than challenging when we're in it, but I think when we do try to talk gentle to ourselves, it helps as much as we can. We're not always going to be perfect. No one ever is.
No.
We're not trying to be perfect.
No one.
But so that's what's been going on.
Yeah, so cool, and I'm so excited because I'm really sure that soon those two little kinks, what we still had, I had them up till 5, and now I'm just like, I cannot believe what I went through. Like still sometimes it hits me like what I went through, like almost like a. Of course, when I help people who are in acute state, they have a hell of anxiety, brain fog, fear, panic, anxiety. They cannot leave the house, DPDR. They are just scared about existence. They are scared about everything, intrusive thoughts all the time. They have pains. They have diarrhea, constipation, acrid reflux. Then I always remember, I actually went through that and it's all gone. It's all gone. So that also, when I reassure people, like, this is really a temporary state. But because for so many people, when they get the gray area, what we speak about, the area where you are not bad, but you are not good either. And if you are free from all mind-altering substances, that is so important, because then, of course, we cannot put in comparison if somebody is still on some other drugs. Even we beat everybody where they at, but if you are free from everything, and then it can take a while, and then it's important to know that it gets better. It will get better. Even 2 years with depression, anhedonia, and all that, it does get better, but you just need more time, like some people do.
Yes. And I think what helped me the most was reminding myself I'm free. I'm free. this is part of the process. I'm free from the substances because the time's going to go by anyway. And then you're still on the substances and it's wrecking your body. And it's okay. Yeah, it's giving you a cushion and making you feel good in the moment, but it is not helping you. And just knowing that, wow, I mean, it was the anxiety symptoms are just so unbelievable what it does to the body, the lie. But it really is about survival and protection. But it's just, it's very, very
It's
hard for us
doubts.
to wrap the doubt. It's just hard for us to wrap our brain around it, why it happens that way. But
Yeah.
we're proof and we're nothing. I mean, we are special. I've always said that. I made a post about that once. I was like, I mean, I'm special, but I'm not recovery special.
Yeah.
Like no
Yes.
one, we all have the same
Yeah.
biochemistry, even though
Yes.
we're different. The body does heal. Like it's just inevitable that if you stay free from substances and give it time and you're healthy, you know, that you have
Yeah.
no other, you've
Yeah.
been to the doctor, you have no other health, it will just take time, even if it takes years. Like it's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
And you see people, oh, well, I've been suffering with it for 10 years. And then you find out they're consuming
Yeah.
something
They are
that they don't
consuming
realize is
something.
harming
They are
them.
taking some kind of pill or some kind of medication, or taking some upper or downer. If you take something that upper, your like affects your nervous system or something, it's gonna mess you up. Or downer, like that's why it's like
Yeah.
being free
And that,
from all.
and that people don't know underestimated substances like caffeine. I mean, that's why we're such an advocate for the caffeine part of it. Of so many different drugs, but caffeine is such a big one and underestimated that people don't get it. And even if they're on chocolate or they're drinking some type of healthy matcha tea or
Yeah.
kombucha, it's like it has caffeine. It
Yeah.
has caffeine.
Yep.
Excuse me. So that's so important because especially like, I think it's important when we're in the depths of recovery for people that are going through this. And then they're watching videos and then they check the comments, because we're only checking comments because we want to hear good ones. We don't want the
Yes.
bad ones, but
Yes.
they're in there,
They are
the
in
scary
there.
ones.
Yes.
They
Of
pop
course.
up, because
Yeah.
people are going through their things and
Yeah.
they want to have a voice. But they're like, I've been going through it for such and such years. And then you read that and then you're scared that like, oh my God, they've been going through it, but you don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
know? And so.
Yeah, like I learned a lot from the bencho world during this. Even I still would like this information go even there. Like I would hope that hopefully bencho people also know that caffeine is a drug, because I think it should be really important information to share everybody who is in whatever recovery, even if whatever drug you are recovering, if you're still taking caffeine and if you have dysregulated nervous system, sensitized nervous system. For me, it just doesn't make sense that if you took caffeine, how the nervous system then, in some level, of course, you can like recover just from one addiction at a time. Yeah, we have been seeing that. But I think if you then wanna like complete healing from, maybe then it's one day at a time, of course, for everybody who are, like I say, I know people who cannot quit all at once. That's very normal. Like, but at least like to know that caffeine is really affecting the central nervous system and whole body and all the systems. And it's always safer to taper if you just have been using a lot. And even if you haven't used a lot, tapering, it's always safer way.
We didn't know, but we're able to say it now.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
One step.
Can you hear me when I'm chewing? Sorry.
Yeah, no worry.
I usually have my smoothie, but I ran out of my smoothie stuff and I didn't go to the store.
And also I wanna say that this, what we are speaking, it sometimes it can sound preaching for some people, but because I know that there is so many people who doesn't know what contains caffeine. Yeah. That's why we mention about this caffeine and mind-altering drugs and this, because I think it's so important, because there are people who maybe think that caffeine is only from a coffee, or that's their addiction, and then they say I don't have a withdrawal symptoms, but they still consuming tea and chocolate, kombucha, some medication with caffeine or something. So then they are not withdrawing. then they are not
Yeah,
withdrawing.
we want to be more teachy, not preachy, all that. I love
Yeah,
that. But
like to share.
I think it's important to say that because we're only doing it because we have experience that so many people are like, oh, there's caffeine in that.
Yeah.
Oh, in that. Oh, in that.
Yes.
So I mean, it's good for us to just give that friendly reminder that like it's in a lot of things that people don't. Some people
I
know it, and
didn't
that's
know.
great. They
I
know.
didn't know, and I would, if somebody
Yeah.
would even shared in my 20s anything about like even any, because I was in tons of caffeine, but nobody said
Yeah.
anything, not even about coffee. That hey,
No.
Annie, that's too much. That's like
Yeah.
huge. Like that's a poison. No one.
No one.
Jaakko
There's a
says
comment.
in Finland we have these lemonade cans that have 2000 milligrams of caffeine in them, which is more than the most energy drinks, and you don't notice this unless you examine
200.
the can very carefully. Yeah, 200 milligrams. Yeah, lemonade. Yes,
That's so sneaky.
it is sneaky. Thank you, Jaakko, for sharing that.
Yes. Because I only, because of that, I only drink water.
Yeah.
And I like it.
I get messages, maybe this can answer some of your messages. I get some Discord messages every now and then that people message me that Anni, I have this lemonade, and then they send pictures that is this okay? Is this okay? Okay, it says like 0 caffeine, but I would only say that drink water, like learn to drink
I
water,
know.
because the lemonade, okay, they are not very healthy anyway, like sugar and all the other stuff that they put that. So water.
Exactly. I mean, it just depends on what people are going after, but I think it's just the fact that this is the way I look at it. Like, let's say, okay, you do find a lemonade that doesn't have caffeine, but then you get comfortable and then you're out and about, you're just ordering lemonades, and then you forget to check, and then it's in there. It's like, and I think that if we accidentally had something once or twice, like it's not, and we don't know, it's not going to affect our nervous system. It really is about continuously putting it in over a certain amount of time that starts affecting the sleep and the adenosine and all the things. But still, I mean, you want to try to do your best.
Yeah.
But I know people want fun drinks.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have this. Maybe it is a little anxiety. I don't know. My throat, it feels like phlegm. I
Yeah.
was sick. I did get like COVID or something. I was on the tail end of it when I was working with my friend, and that's another cool thing. I had snot coming out of my nose. I mean, just it was all in my sinuses, and I was able to work and push through that. It was the tail end of it. Um, Excuse me.
Maybe it was the
Um,
detox. Just
Maybe. But my husband did get the same thing. I don't know. I do like that whole, no virus thing, but it's hard for me.
I
I
know.
get it, but then I'm like, but then how does somebody else? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't push it, but because you know
No, I
how I
know.
think about it.
I know. Because I think though it's really good to have that perspective, because it's like, why does it only happen in the spring and the fall for me? I start to think about things, and it's like, is it my body picking up something, but then it's detox? Because it is, I mean, when the body gets sick or whatever, it is detoxing. I mean, a temperature is getting rid of whatever's in there. So the body is still detoxing, but it's like,
But did you know that every autumn and every spring the body has its own period when
yeah,
it's throw the
yeah,
trashes out. So that's the
yeah,
flu
like a
kind of
spring
all.
cleaning.
Yeah, spring clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it does
yeah.
that.
Um, and I don't know if it's because I'm healthier, if it's just they say it's the strand that we're getting or whatever, but I wasn't. That's what's interesting to me too, because I have had strands of things where I am like in the bed, but I don't know if it's because my immune system's stronger. But my husband, he wasn't feeling like in the bed type of flu either. It was just symptoms, but it's weird. I was just still functional with the symptoms. They were just annoying. Like I was sneezing, like 2 to 3 days I was sneezing every 10 seconds. But that's the body getting, the sneeze is the intrusive thoughts. It's all
Yes.
symptoms. Does
All
that make
healing
sense?
sim.
I don't know.
I just like the
I don't know if that makes
healing
sense.
symptoms. Everything is
They're all
healing.
healing.
But
Yeah.
I had also like the last year those flus that I think that it was just healing and detox and all rewiring.
Hmm.
And then they just went away. Now I haven't had anything like that. I had
It'll
a
be
little bit
interesting to
like
see.
sometimes my throat was like dry, but that even like that's nothing like dry throat. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
don't even think.
It'll be it'll be interesting to see the more recovered we are in the next few years, how we deal with those things.
Yes. Yeah, and I that's also because when your nervous system gets calm, of course,
Hmm.
you are able to deal stressors because there are so many stressors like the whatever stressor, like emotional, physical stressor, exercise, all kind of stressors that we have with family, with if your nervous system is not there in the fight or flight and you are more that like parasympathetic. I was talking about that ventral vagal where we actually are excited to connect with people, and that's actually the first state that our system will try to get. And then there is all things about this past childhood stuff that I did video about in Finnish, which is really interesting how our nervous system is shaping when we grow up and when we are babies, and if we don't necessarily get, for example, the loved when we are babies, or love can be a little bit like, it's not always like stable. It can affect how our nervous system kind of change those stages, but it's always how you behave. It's just the state of your nervous system. So I
Adapting.
kind of love that. Like it's not that you're a bad person or you did this and this. It's just kind of the state of your nervous system.
Yeah, and how we adapt. I've been in that um, knowledge area, awareness area for a while now, as I was still recovering from anxiety. I've had my
You mean flu or yes, what are your symptoms, Jaakko? Is it like, do you have like sneezing or sore throat or
headache.
headache? If you have headaches, that is definitely normal in this. Still, I think
Yeah,
you are
you
two
might think
years or
it's
something.
yeah, you might think it's the flu, but there were times where it's like I feel sick. I was like I feel like I'm just sick, and
It can
it
be
was just
very well that you
anxiety.
are still in recovery, even you wouldn't have any like those symptoms can be like when you are still in recovery. It can all be, for example, like mild apathy or mild boringness or
Yeah.
mild flu-like symptoms. They can be almost like person can think that, oh, this is not from caffeine withdrawal anymore, but then many people it still can be. I'm not saying that you is for you, but just know that it will be interesting to see when you go with time that maybe those will go away. Yeah, sore throat and runny nose. Yeah, and of course, I
So
don't say
sore.
that there can be other other factors, but definitely
Right.
that can be still part of the recovery.
Like a sore, like, I mean, okay, so I had a sore throat for one day in this sickness and it was bad. Like I couldn't swallow, like it hurt to swallow. It felt like hot and red.
I would
And
say
if you've
that
had that for 6 months,
if
something like
that's
that.
if that goes like I can say that when you recognize the withdrawals or pause, it's pretty much that you have some symptoms and sometimes they disappear and then they can come back. Like usually those pause
Right.
symptoms they just comes and goes however, and they are usually not all the time, but they can change. So
Yeah, so
that's
I'm
how.
curious, Yako, is it like sore throat like burning sore throat every single day, or was it coming and
Yeah,
going?
because if it's coming and going, like sometimes you feel, oh, I don't have that, then you feel, okay, I have that again, then definitely it can be part of the rewiring, and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
And like a runny nose, that could be allergies, but my allergies are so much better since my nervous system is calming down.
yeah, mine are healed
Inter-
also, all
Interesting.
asthma
Yay.
too, and all. Yay.
What was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you something in private, but I think I could ask you now about a
Yeah.
symptom. Oh, about remember, because my mom, when I talked to my mom yesterday, and I was in a really good mood. And that's something that when we do the wound video, I really want to talk a lot about when we're dysregulated compared to when we're regulated, how we are with other people and how
Yes.
other people is a reflection. And when we're, because I've experienced it, I've experienced better days where I'm feeling as good as I was when I was singing that song. And when you're feeling that good, um, you have so much. I'll say I have so much more empathy. It's mild sore throat. Yeah, it's coming and going. Okay, good. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
totally
definitely
detox,
withdrawals. Yeah.
recovery.
Pause. Yeah.
That's just your body doing its thing.
Very normal.
Very normal.
Very.
I'm glad I asked because I didn't want to be like, is it every day? And it was every day, and then it was every single day, and you're like, what's wrong with me? No, it'll come and go until it'll come and go until it's done with its process.
Yeah. It's good.
So good, very normal, very normal. Thank you for sharing.
Keep it up.
Yes, and so like when we're more regulated. Okay, when I'm more, I don't know why I like to say everybody as a whole because I don't want to,
Yeah.
good to know. Yes. Um, when I am feeling positive in that positive connected state, I can project so much more of that love and energy, right? And I think definitely other people can pick up on that. But when we're in our own little shell and we're projecting that, or when I'm projecting that, it's so much understanding and empathy and love for other people because I have it in myself.
Yes.
And it's that connected state. And then so I think, and I don't know this for sure, but there's probably, because there's so many people that go through like relationship stuff that their marriage or their just relationships in general, it could be with friends or family or in your personal marriage or whatever, but if somebody or both are dysregulated, it's going to be a lot of chaos, and blaming and finger pointing and you're not taking care of me, or and then we get, and okay, maybe they are triggering our wounds and things from childhood, because that is very true. But I've had it to where 1 week I'm regulated and 1 week I'm dysregulated, and I see the complete difference in me.
Yes.
And how I expect my husband to show up, and then how when I'm more regulated, how I'm like, oh my goodness, he has his own things. He just can't be there for me in that. Okay, in a perfect world, he could be there and be this knight in shining armor that I need all the time.
Yeah.
But then like just the other day, I was mentioning, hey, let's have hamburgers and grill. And he went to this special place and got all this stuff. Like he really does listen. And my point is, I think when we're more regulated, and okay, do we always need to be the one to fix? But I think there's just something to it that so many people, I think, are dysregulated in some level because of substances.
Yes.
And then look how long it takes to recover.
Yeah.
Or possibly recover. Then you don't know, you're up and down, there's fighting, there's chaos, there's just disconnect. But then I think it takes one person. I really believe this. And I don't think with like every situation, because there's some people that maybe their significant other is so dysregulated and has so many bad wounds from their childhood that they're really, really abusive. So I'm not taking up for them. But I think that if one person truly gets to the place after however many years it takes them and they're recovered, that they can help the other person's nervous system feel calm, and over time help that person come out of dysregulation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that it's their job to do that, but I think that can happen. I believe that can happen.
Yeah, because you are the person who that other person can feel very safe with, and your presence, just because you feel safe, it's people will want to be around you. Because if you are all over the place, like I was on caffeine and very irritated and very like snappy and that is very hard to be. Even it's not that person's fault. It's just like people think that I'm just how I am, but I didn't know how I was because I was on drugs, heavy drug, which caffeine is. So
Very.
I also want to tell one example. Like, I'm living with my ex-boyfriend and we became very good friends. Even it was really hard in the recovery, all the relationship, even because I couldn't connect with anyone. I couldn't have pretty much any intimacy or anything. I have done video about that too. But anyway, now when we have end up like being friends, and even he still smokes cigarettes and he games and do a lot of things that usually really did like piss me off. Like really, I was really like not able to tolerate a lot of things. Also because my past, and because I was always told to do this and this, and told like I have very judgmental stuff in my childhood. So I'm a little bit, that's why, sensitive also. And it's also something that I do, which is very weird, but I don't want to do that. So now I can just be like, if he wants to game or all day, I can like, okay, it's like he can do that. And before I was just like taking up for my, like I was just taking it for me. Okay, you don't ever do anything. Like, why you don't ever do anything? I have to do everything. But it's not that. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's like we can actually see, or I can now see the other person where he is, and he's a other person. He has his own life. He can do whatever he wants. I am not boss for anyone else or anyone. Even I'm not boss even because I believe God is my boss. Jesus is my boss. But anyway, like the meaning is that when we get regulated back, we are not so much bothered what other people do.
Right. Yeah.
We are not.
Yes. Exactly. It's like when we're dysregulated, we need them to be our hero. We need them to help fix us. We need people to we need because we're so scattered and up and down, and it's hard. And then when yes, exactly. And I knew you would understand that.
Yeah.
And we do talk about this, but it's so nice for me to just say something and then you reiterate it in your own. I've always said that, and you say it in your own way, but it's the same because it's what's happening. Like that's just how it's so simple. That's just the nervous system, and that's just the way that we're designed to be. If we're in I have this new thing, I might have said this in the last video, but the rear view mirror, some of them have that little sticker that says objects may appear closer than they are. That's how I look at anxiety. It's like it does this kind of, it takes everything and it amplifies it and makes it, or it doesn't even amplify it, maybe even it makes it, distorts it. And because it might not even really be there, and so if it's there and it's amplified, but it's like same thing. If my husband's doing XYZ, but I don't like it, and it's, he's gaming all night or whatever, but when I'm more regulated and having a better day, I'm doing my own thing. Like I'm good. Like I can take care of myself. And yeah, he has his own life and his own things. And so that's what, like, it's that empathy and understanding of like, oh, I don't need them to be the hero for me. And then like I said, I really do believe the more that we're aligned with the way that the natural state of just what we think is goodness, of just feeling good in our brain and body, then either we're going to, it's either going to spread to them and help them. But again, we're not trying to even do that. But of course we want our loved ones to be as healthy as possible, but we don't need them to be to save us.
Yeah.
But yet I think that we can lead by example, or we're going to attract other people in our life as well that align with us. But we can still love those people, and we can still wish them the best, and hopefully they will tag along. But I think it's because, like you were saying too, when we were recovering, it was so inconsistency, like having an inconsistent household, that is bad on the nervous system. That is hard on the nervous system, seeing that up and down, and one day someone's good and then they're bad, and it's like, what is going on? You don't feel safe. So they are seeing us, our loved ones are seeing us that way in recovery, the way it was on substances. It was very up and down, but we were just high all the time. But so in recovery, take away the high, take away the fake dopamine, we're inconsistent, that doesn't look safe to our loved ones. So
No.
I just feel like there's just really something to it when we are healed. It no matter what, we're saved, it helps
Yeah.
us, but then it can help trickle down and possibly help our loved ones, and which is
Yeah,
really
and
cool.
even if we would have had something like in the childhood, whatever, we would have, everybody have something, but some people have more safer childhood than others. But anyway, it's not like when you start to feel safe in your own skin, when your nervous system gets calmed, it can be that you can just like have more understanding and forgiveness for maybe the people who didn't have the regulated nervous system, your caregivers, or maybe some other relatives or whatever have been in your life, your ex-boyfriends or whatever. You can understand that them, like that was like they are like in I understand it different. Well, like before I would have maybe blame others, like I did have that blame in me, like because this happened to me or this and that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people do. And I think it takes getting to this place to have that forgiveness for them and for ourselves. And that's the freedom. That's a really good topic, too, about this, because I was thinking about that because it's very controversial when you hear people's stories of how they were really abused by somebody else who that person was abused. But again, I'm not taking up for that person's behavior. But you'll hear people that are like, I forgive, and then you hear people like, there's no way I could forgive that
Yeah,
person. Like, there's no way. Like, they did so much to me, but then it's like, and I can't sit there and say that they should
yeah,
forgive or not. Like,
yeah,
that's their
yep,
choice. But I think for me, and I've had some pretty. I mean, I could tell some stories about my boyfriend in my 20s. How, I mean, there was some abuse, like major abuse. I don't know if it could get any worse in that level, but I mean, it's pretty bad. And I can just be like, it's okay. Like, it happened. Like, he was damaged. He
yep,
has his wounds, hurt people. Every single person that's doing something harmful, and it could be whatever level, extreme, crazy, awful, sickening levels, that person was hurt. And most of the time, and you see it in stereotypes, like in movies and stuff, usually the abuser, the guy that comes home and he hits his wife, and he's, doing all kinds of, he's been cheating all night, and then he comes home and hits her, or however it goes in the movie. Um, he's usually drunk, he's
yeah.
usually been out drinking, smoking, joking, and I think I think you could take the worst case scenario of an abuser and just, bad person, because no one's bad in their soul. It's just that's why it's so important to talk about these wounds in childhood, because they had something happen to them, and it just trickles down. Their abuser was abused, their abuser was abused. And I really believe that if the worst abuser in the whole world got off substances, they could heal. But look how long it takes. I mean, they probably have so much pain they can't even get off all the substances, or they wouldn't want to. We can't make people, but that's my theory. I don't know. I mean, that's controversial. Maybe some
Mm,
people will argue with that. It's like, well, what about Hitler? Like,
yeah.
what was he on? And what makes people, but who made him the way he was? And was it because it's everybody that's like that on substances? Probably not, but most likely, I don't know. That's kind of,
Yeah.
what do you think? That's kind of controversial. I don't.
Well, that's difficult. I think there can be other reasons, like I don't know, maybe some genetics in the way of why. If I think about the narcissism, like really heavy narcissism, like the psychopath narcissism, um, I think there can be like other reasons too, like that. But definitely, if the person is free from everything, there is at least there is a chance. Then there is a chance. But what that would need also, that would need that that person would admit that he is a
Well,
narcissist or
that's what I'm
something
saying.
like
Like,
that. That would need that. So
yeah, I mean, okay, so like, let's say it's a complete narcissist psychopath that never. I mean, I'm sure there are cases that something, but they weren't. I don't think that they were born that way. Genetic. I mean, I think something happened to them. I think that that's how they adapted to survive, and then they became whatever. But most of the time they go on substances. But let's say that they didn't. Let's say there are people out there that didn't go on anything. They never consume caffeine. They never, I mean, we know
Mm.
how serious caffeine can affect people. They'd be like, oh, well, so and so doesn't drink, but like they're still consuming caffeine, which it's keeping that locked, that behavior locked in place. But they are so adapted to that behavior that they won't even admit it. Yeah, so they can't change. So they can't do the work if they don't admit it, because that is keeping them
Yeah.
safe. That behavior of them, that for some weird reason that keeps them. So I don't know. That is very.
And then of course
It's a theory,
there is people who are in the jail and they find Jesus and God and they change.
right?
That's of course God can, we know it can do anything,
Right.
change. But then also like we don't really know how would our society be. Like sometimes I wonder, like let's say that just without caffeine, just without any drugs, we don't know what how many psychopaths we, I don't know. There wasn't caffeine in the Bible and people still were doing bad stuff there and murders. And so I think there is an evilness in the human nature in some form. Even like I believe the Bible, but anyway, it's
Yeah,
different
it's
in,
interesting.
yeah, it's
It's
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
I just know what happened. I mean, because that's what we do when we go through. I think people in general, when they go through something really intense, you want to save the world at first, and
Yeah.
everything's good, and everything's, you know, um, everyone has a good soul, and
Yeah.
I think it helps me to know that like everybody can heal if. Because then that helps me to think like, oh, this will never happen to me again. Because if it's not, this is just me being really honest. Like if it's not substances, and it's something else, then it could happen to me again, if
Yeah.
for some type of stressor or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand, but just know that these pause things cannot happen
Right,
to
right,
you.
right,
But
right, right.
I do believe that there is other things that people can get very traumatized and they can have anxiety, but
Yeah,
and the symptoms can even be very much same like, but then I always say the people who are recovering, the withdrawals are withdrawals, and how we know that we have the withdrawals because we didn't never have this kind of stuff before, and it happened because we accidentally did cold turkey, we did fall off the mountain, we did end up in this journey. We were perfectly functional even on drug, like well, not perfectly but functional. And then that is the story that we all come together with the same story, who I help with the different countries
yeah,
people come, like Annie, I was completely functional, I never knew that this caffeine stuff can be so hard, and I would go completely dysfunctional. So but I get your
exactly.
point. I get your point that we would like to be that way, that
Yeah,
everybody should, without substances the world would be, and human beings wouldn't be bad. But I think
but that's not ever
but
gonna.
even before caffeine and stuff, people were bad, doing bad
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah. I mean, that's never. Everyone being drug free. That's never gonna happen. We just
no,
know what
no,
what
no,
happened to us,
yeah, and
and
and people
and that
have
we
been
heal.
seeking something to change their mindset throughout the history, like that's not just a world that we're gonna see, but it's at least we will see the world probably that there is more information. I hope like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
can maybe get
Like
it.
there was with cigarettes and things. I mean, it can
Yeah,
happen over time.
yeah,
But yeah,
they
that's
say
all.
that cigarettes are healthy. When my grandmother was telling me when I was little, she said that everybody said that cigarettes are healthy when she was young.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Make that money. Make that money. So yeah, that's just about that goes with all the behavioral stuff, and
Deep.
the wounds and childhood, and adaptation, and the Gabor Mate's theory about like even ADHD not being born that way, but it being coming from a stress response. And so, my curious brain, I start thinking about other people and things that they have, and um, certain adaptations and stuff. And I just think that the body is amazing. I think that if people are having an issue, that if they really wanted to be better And like for me, I prayed on it. I did, I was
Yes.
just like, why can't I? Because I was trying to quit alcohol and I did, but then I went back and I was on the caffeine and I just I just wanted a better life, but I couldn't figure it out. And then it just all kind of happened. And
Yeah.
then boom,
Yeah,
5 years.
yeah, definitely like any kind of trauma stuff what person have, if the person have addiction and you quit all the addiction mind altering stuff, you have the so much like that is your like kind of what is that, opportunity to heal from everything under that. I think like if you want, if you are willing to let that happen and go through
And I
this
wanted
emotion,
it.
yeah, you wanted it and we wanted that. And even me, what I did video about that wound stuff in Finnish about my feelings of um, unworthiness and unlove, sometimes it pops up still, but at least now
Yeah.
I understand what it's all about. It's all about the nervous
Hmm.
system and
Yes, it's not what's happening in the moment now to us. It's happening from when we were 7 or 3
yeah,
or 10 or it's
yeah,
not
whatever.
now. It's the body going. And then but now that we're free, it's all surfacing and then it's really painful. And that's when people can relapse if they're adapted to think that that's the safest way. Because I tell you what, um, not Tuesday because I didn't really leave that. I just kind of rested on Tuesday, but I think it was Thursday, I went to the park. It was Wednesday or Thursday, I went to the park and I just kind of chilled, did some reflecting and journaling and stuff, and just kind of hung out, just enjoyed being outside. And I was just thinking a lot about this journey, and I forget what I was saying.
Don't worry.
I forget what I
That
was going to say.
happens
I
a
had a
lot for
point. I
me.
had a, I
Oh.
had a point. What was that? What were we talking about? And what was I going to say? I was talking about the park, and then I was thinking about how nice it was
Don't
outside.
worry.
Um, I forget. There was something, a point though. We were talking about adaptation.
Yeah, past and wounds and it's not the
Yeah,
past.
just the
It's not the 7 to 14. We were saying that.
yeah,
It's
it's what's happening in the moment. I don't remember.
yeah, that's okay.
I
Uh,
think
That's okay.
yeah. I don't know. Oh well. We're talking about a lot of stuff. I
Yeah.
think because I'm in that, I'm in that transition about to come out. I do feel like a lot of different symptoms are coming and going. It was
Yay.
something about that I felt the way I felt, and then it was getting better, and I was reflecting. But I don't. It was like
Don't
I
worry.
had like a really good point, but
You always have a
um,
good point. These conversations are
yeah,
so nice. I don't know. You can tell me to the chat, by the way, that you can just tell honest opinion. Like, do you like these like kind of where me and Mandy we just reflect
yeah,
and is this interesting to hear or is this boring? I know that of course
right,
for
right,
some people who are not in the recovery, this is maybe that can be interesting in some level. I think the wound video can be really good for anyone what we gonna do, even if you are not recovery or even if you are still in substances. But I don't know if this, maybe this is for the those who can like relate or maybe experience
Well,
something.
and I'll tell you something. Like even I think that's good to ask that. Just to see people's opinions. But this is something that I'm definitely into right now
Yes.
when it comes to a wound of like, and this is an old wound of like just being my most authentic self, talking about what I want to talk about. And if people don't want to hear it, then they
Yeah.
don't have to. And then maybe it resonates. Maybe another video resonates.
Yeah, I know. I
I think
have a
that's
little bit that like, okay, make sure that this is the people pleasing me. Like,
yeah,
yeah, make sure that everything wants this and
right,
like this. And but we have been seeing even my channel. That's not like people even doesn't want to hear that caffeine is bad. So I had to kind of
right,
let that go because
right,
if I wanna do
yeah,
YouTube, I cannot. If I would want to do the nice YouTube, then I would just be like, okay, you can do everything. Anything is good and yippee yoo.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like,
I just think that's important because I'm that same way. Like, oh, am I talking? it's really all surfacing lately. Like, am I too much?
Yeah,
It's some stuff. It's some emotional, and what we talked about last time. It really takes a lot of energy for all these emotions to come up.
it
And
does.
when anyone is got an opinion, it's really coming from them. It has nothing to do with us. Like, it has taken me so long to get to this mindset of like, I can be me and do exactly, as long as I'm kind, whatever, do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And if people don't like it, that's on them. It has nothing to do with me. Do we have time for me to tell?
Yes.
Are we doing good on time?
Yes, and I just want to say that I love that you bring that up because that is exactly what I
Yeah,
am dealing a bit with. That I'm just feeling that I'm not
me
worthy,
too.
and I feel that even
And
I
you're
only
so
think
worth.
that I feel that I'm worthy, that from God I'm enough, but with people I'm still, it's popping up,
Mm.
still
That's
popping up.
such a see. When you tell me that, I'm like, that is such a deep old mindset wound. Like, that is so, because you are so, you know, amazing and worthy, and like, that is such a shame.
Yuppie Star, hi! Hi everyone, how are you? I missed the beginning, unfortunately,
Oh,
but your topics are always very interesting and part of the withdrawal journey. It shows the development during and after withdrawal. Yay!
beautiful,
Yes!
beautiful, awesome.
And
Thank you.
also,
See, and that's
thank you.
I
I
love that.
wanna point out that that's what I'm experiencing now is like the after the pause, like the behavioral. It's not like the anxiety,
Yeah,
it's
right,
not.
right.
But it's
And I still think it's part of the recovery because we
yes,
suppressed for so long, and we did rewire to that adaptation to be that people pleaser, to worry about what others think, or that we're not good enough, or we're too much. Like, that's
yes,
what's been coming up for me lately. I'm too much. I talk too much. I am too detailed. I am too much, just too much, too much, too much,
yeah,
too much. And it's like, but that's okay. That's who you are. And if people don't like it, then that's them. Like, I'm gonna find my people that like the way that I am, and that's
yes,
okay. And that, like, all that shame that's coming up, and it's all shame. It's
yeah.
all there. I really believe the shame is there to protect us and keep us small, to keep us safe.
Yes.
But it really, I can't even put it into words how much this is my thing too, and this is exactly where I am too. And that's why I did bring it up when you said that, because of course, like, Yuppie Star, like, I love that they said that. That's wonderful, because it to me, that's what it is. To me,
Yes.
it's part of the journey, the withdrawal journey. But let's
Yes.
say somebody commented and said, "What the heck are y'all talking about, you ding dongs?" Like,
They
that's
sound so
like,
soon.
it's still opinion. Like, it's
Yeah.
still Yuppie Star's opinion. It's still that person's ding dong opinion. But it shouldn't affect us. But yet, when we do have that wound, some people do, some people don't. We do, and that's another reason why you and I are very similar and connect,
Yeah.
because we have similar wounds, which is very interesting. Because it wasn't. I mean, it is part of the post-acute withdrawal, and our symptoms were very similar, but our wounds are very similar, and
Yes.
we just happen to have the same similar wounds.
Yeah.
And I do believe we were meant to be, meant to be in each other's lives for that. But I just find it interesting how before that was debilitating for me. Like, I couldn't handle people's negative opinion of me, because
Yeah.
I really believed what they were saying. And so I think the more and more we recover and we start to love ourselves and have that confidence, then that's just their opinion. It's like, even though now I know it's opinion, I bet you if someone really did say something like really, really negative, my neighbor said I had a flat ass. He used the words flat ass to me yesterday when I was getting on my bike. When I've gained weight, my butt's like not, and his butt goes like in. His is like concave in, but it's like that's his
But
body,
why does he say
because he said it in front of my other neighbor, and he wants to pick on me, make himself feel better. Who knows? But I just took off on my bike, and I had the best bike ride. Oh, that's another thing. I can ride a bike. It's an
yes?
electric bike. It's so
So
fun.
cool.
I couldn't have done that 2 years ago. But anyway, yeah. Did it bother me a little bit? The only reason why it bothers me is because it's like, I don't believe it, because I like the way my booty is. I'm
Yeah.
5'11", and it's not a big bubble butt, but it's not. In the beginning of withdrawal, it was pancake because I lost so much weight. It was so sad. But it's like, he knows that, or maybe he thinks he knows that might bother me, and he's just trying to make himself. Who knows why people do and say the
I
things that
don't
they
know.
do?
I don't.
But I can't. I have to come from a place, and I'm getting there, where especially if I get in the workforce, there's so many different personalities out there, so many people with their
Yes.
wounds and their weird behaviors, or who knows why they do it. And I can't go around going, is that true? Or why did that person say? I did have that life, that
Yes.
behavior in me, but I was on substances.
Yes.
Like I
Same.
would lay at night, like going through the whole day, oh, they said that, they said that, they said that I reacted this way, that ruminating. And now it can happen in a certain like wave, or a certain, it's surfacing so I can process it out. Um, because sometimes I'm like, whatever, like laugh it off. And then sometimes it bothers me more than other times. And I think that I know that the times that it bothers me more than other times is because that it's hitting me harder, because it's surfacing to process it out. It's that
Yes.
resistance to it. And I really believe that you have to be free from substances to like, it naturally happens. I think if people were on substances and they did a lot of inner work, I don't think, maybe it would process out, maybe, if they really
Maybe
had the
I don't
awareness and did
know.
the work. I don't know. But I know that it
Yeah.
naturally happens when you're
Yeah.
free. Like it's just because you cannot, because I don't want it there. Like let's say that okay, maybe if I wanted to worry about it and care about what people thought, but I don't want to. And I was always told that if I don't want it, then it will go away. Like it will,
Yeah.
that the thing that I'm saying I don't want, like I didn't want the depression, I didn't want the anxiety symptoms, all of them. I
Yeah.
don't want the behavioral stuff that doesn't serve me anymore. So even like the deep emotional, or the deep psychological and mental stuff, like the intrusive thoughts and stuff, we don't want that. That gets better. But then the emotional, the surfacing
Yes.
stuff, we don't want that either. But then it comes up. You can't help it. It
Yeah. It
surfaces.
comes
The
up.
resistance is there, and then it processes out.
Yeah, and that can sometimes feel like overwhelming, of course. Like sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
can feel that you just
Yes.
cry so hard, but then it's release. It's releasing. Like before this journey, I did do a lot of that TRE, trauma releasing exercise, body shaking. I have done video about that. But I wasn't
Yes.
able to release my traumas or all the ways because I was on substances. And then during the withdrawals, I did do TRE. I did try to do some kind of all kind of stuff, breathings, and nothing worked. Nothing worked. But
Right.
I think, and this is for the maybe some therapist, or I don't know. I just feel that now I don't need therapy anymore. I don't want to go there. But I do say that if you need therapy during this, go ahead, of course. But I just
Sure.
want to say that if there are some kind of therapist out there, at least I think you should maybe mention to patient if they are high on caffeine, that
Yeah.
that is something that affects your nervous system, because maybe even the therapy could work better when they are out of the substance. That's how I believe. Like I just think about my rational brain now, that if person is in addiction and in substances, how that person can work things, if what comes to I don't know.
Yeah. So
Maybe
hard.
some
I mean,
some way it's possible, maybe, but
because if you're in that disconnected state, because your nervous system is there because of the stimulant, because of the caffeine, it's so hard to be, just like I naturally started having empathy and understanding for my husband. I could have been, I had the awareness, somebody could have told me that could happen, but until you live it in your body and your body's calm and you're in that connected state, it's almost impossible to really live it
yeah, like you can practice things and you
naturally.
can practice and
Yeah,
speak, and but when it comes to really that you're really start to living it, like that's when your nervous system is like
exactly.
rewired.
Exactly. I know what I was going to say now when I was
Yeah,
talking about
go
being at
ahead,
the
go
park.
ahead.
You reminded
Yeah.
me. So I was at the park and I was just doing the reflecting and blah blah blah, and then I left. I was probably there for like an hour, and then I left and I was driving around, which I love to do. I just love to ride around because it's just a nostalgic. It gives me those nostalgic feelings. But I was having a day where my husband and I did have kind of an argument, and I think the argument happened. I really do believe that my brain wanted me to use substances that day. Not that
Yes.
and I've talked about this before, not that I craved it or was going to, because I know like that is the recovery, that my brain wanting that, the fight that my husband and I got into, that was the old behavior that I would create chaos or create a bigger problem so I could get mad, so I could go use something to relieve it.
Yeah.
So I would create the problem just to relieve it. And then the brain's like, you need the drug, you need the alcohol, you need the caffeine, whatever. And I just was driving down this street called Washington that has a lot of different bars, and I was just really mad in that moment. It's like a lot of just tension and resistance. I always talk about that this is the resistance part. And it just hit me because I passed by a bar and like a memory popped up of just being in the bar and drinking and like, woo, and like just free. Oh, I'm just so free in this moment. No, I'm not. No, you're not.
Yes.
Like that is such the lie that the brain thinks that it needs that behavior of the substance use to feel good and to feel safe and to just escape.
Yes.
And I really believe that, because kind of like how you said, like you're using dreams and everything, like the brain is still going to do its testing to see if you'll go back, because that's all the adaptation and the
Rewire.
addiction and the dependence is.
It is.
And then you keep going, keep staying free, and the resistance, and then you rewire to freedom after time.
So, and this is important too. So now let's say that you have been 2 weeks of caffeine, maybe 3 weeks. That's really, it's really short time. It's really short time when we look at the addiction. So that's why when you just keep it up, that is amazing start. So keep it up, go 1 year, maybe 2 years.
Sure.
Then you really start to see what kind of cravings, or maybe like we did Fall Off the Mountain, we didn't have like that craving because we were so scared and shocked and terrified. But still our brain kind of wanted like the dreams. And this is weird because I haven't have any caffeine dreams anymore after 5 years. So I don't know, something that happened in that 5 years mark, because my brain kind of maybe did let go of that, because I didn't want the drug, but there is something in my brain what still maybe wanted.
And that's what was happening. Exactly. That's what was happening to me the other day. And I just knew it. I knew it with all my heart. And think about somebody that doesn't have the experience and the knowledge that we have. That's why relapse happens like that. It can happen like that.
It can happen like that.
Find yourself driving to the store or driving to the bar, and you're like, you don't know why, because you're just like, relief. I need relief. I need relief. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I having a stupid fight over nothing, over a sink in the house with my husband? Like, why is this happening? And then you're like, I need him to do this for me, and I need him, and all this like baby stuff, and like, and it was all coming up, and I had to go to the park, and I had to calm myself down, and then I was like, and then when I was driving, I was like, oh yeah, because as I'm almost at 5 years, I wouldn't think that would still be the case. Yes, it is. It's the brain. That's that final, like you had that final test.
Yeah.
This.
Your brain is testing you
the whole time until it's not. It is.
Yeah, and that's why some people in this recovery, they end up doing this. There are many ways to relapse. Some people, they relapse, they go straight away back if they can. Like they just go and then they are back on full time, and then sometimes they message me that they are really bad place or something like that. Then other people can start to mess with the brain with the little amounts. They start to do this tricky teeter-totter stuff, which is, I don't recommend that to anyone. Like they start to pop chocolate a little bit here, a little bit green tea here, a little bit this, little bit. That is giving the signal to your brain that, oh, we are getting back on track. Yes. Even no matter how you think that, oh, I got this moderation. Even one guy was messaging me, Anni, caffeine is okay with moderation. And I said that this is addiction support channel. There is no moderation in my channel. Yeah, somebody can do moderation if they can, and if you're not addict, but here when you help addicts, there is no moderation. And those people, sadly, they either end up usually back to addiction or they mess up with their recovery.
And that's the lie. Like that's the, oh, it's okay to do moderation. It's like your brain will it'll twist logic.
Yes.
And that's why I love using the example that I would create chaos, because a lot of the times we don't even realize why we're fighting with somebody or why we feel bad or why we feel. And then if you really think about it, because I start thinking like, this is petty, this is silly, like this isn't that big of a deal. And it's like, oh my goodness, that sneaky, sneaky part of the process. Like,
Yeah.
and I think just knowing that and having that awareness, even me, like I said, years of research, years and years of knowledge, years of experience, years of being the, I think that I am an expert in
Mhm.
one little bitty category of in the world,
Yeah.
like,
Caffeine expert.
and yeah, like just in rewiring
Yeah.
and nervous system and wounds and all the things, recovery, but yet it can still be sneaky and make me, because I mean it's not fun to have a fight with somebody that you
Yeah.
love and that you know but the brain's it'll sneak in
Disney.
however
It's
it
like it's
wants
not
to.
that bad. People have chocolate. It's
Yeah,
not so like that
right.
kind of thoughts can pop up. Like I don't say that those will pop up, but that I just say what addiction brain can do. It can make you having thoughts that it's okay to use a little bit, or maybe like even if you are alcoholic, the people say that they recover. That oh, I could have a one drink, I could have a one beer.
Yeah,
No, you can't.
yeah.
Like you can't really.
No, I mean it's that's the lie of the moderation and the it's all because even people that can have it and they consume, it's still they're still putting poison in their body,
Yeah, if they are
like
not
it's
addicts,
okay.
like you mean like if they are not addicts, they can have it.
Yeah,
Yeah, like everyone
and they have
knows.
their dopamine system is good, eh, but they're still putting poison in their body. But yeah, we're talking about someone who completely
Yeah, addicts,
adapted,
addicts.
addict brain, and but it, but even using the word addict, like it's still a behavior because
Yeah,
we adapted for some reason to feel better.
yeah.
And everybody's got a different way of like, oh, just a bite of chocolate or just a drink of alcohol or just a this or just a that or look at how
Smoking a
bad
little
everything
bit,
is
or yeah,
or
whatever.
go smoke and like, but look how bad my life is, look how stressed I am, I just need to do the and but even me, I mean, I was not craving a coffee or a beer or anything, but the chaos was there because that was how my brain knew. Even though I wasn't, like you said, I mean, the brain knows. That's
Yeah,
what the
brain
dreams,
knows.
like the brain, the nervous system knows or thinks it knows because it's all about safety. It's all
Yeah,
about survival and protection, but in a weird way.
yeah, like
But
that's
like
how you
even
can
my,
get back to that where you were. Like symptoms will go away. Even that's not even work like that if you fall off the mountain, because some people have tried to go back in caffeine and they just have hell of anxiety. So it's
yeah.
it's not really work like
Yeah, it
that.
just depends on it where your nervous
Yeah,
system, like ours, how it just was fried and
yeah,
really, really unstable. But even my friend, I learned a lot being with my friend Jamie this past weekend. I mean, I was happy the fact that I could just go and do what I could do, but I think that somebody would be like, "Well, why do you want to hang out with someone who drinks alcohol, smokes marijuana, drinks caffeine?" Because I can. Like that I
yeah,
can. I love her, 26 years of friendship. Um Sometimes people say, birds of a feather and all that. Like, I'm not gonna, there's no
yeah.
way ever she could make me go
No,
that way. Like, never.
no.
I feel like, because she talks a lot about how she's gonna quit alcohol first. And then she's like, what would you rather? She even asked me, she's like, what would you rather have me quit first, alcohol or weed? And I was like, well, both. But I mean, if we're gonna pick one, alcohol first.
Yeah,
But she was even saying that she doesn't have a problem with caffeine. And I was like, and that
yeah,
and she knows what I went through. She knows, she's very smart in that way of just understanding, but she's still, because she wakes up and she has this drink called Spark. It's this like powder fruity drink that has like 125 milligrams of caffeine. I used to love it. Like we used to sell it like 13 years ago from this
yeah.
company, and she still drinks it every morning. And then when we were out and about doing work, she drinks tea. She would buy it just randomly. She bought that. I don't know if y'all have that there in Finland, but Starbucks makes a mocha coffee drink like in the glass container. It's like a mocha coffee. She
I'm not
got one of
sure.
those one day.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
probably. Yeah,
you
probably
can
we
get it
have. Yeah, in
at
the
a
store.
convenience store.
Yeah,
Yeah. she bought one of those one day. Then one day we went and got breakfast tacos. And, I was saying in the beginning of the video, she has this linen company. And she has 2 workers that work in that do the laundry and all that and fold and stuff. And then we take everything to the houses. But she was getting them like a treat. And she got them the boba tea.
Yeah.
But the place also makes boba coffee. And she was like, do you want anything? She's like, oh, I think they have fruit drinks here that you could get. And that's why I was saying earlier about the lemonade. I was like, no, I'm good. I had my water in the car. And I love it. I love having my big water with me. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like my little comfort. But I was like, no, I'm good. But she got them boba teas. And there's different flavors, and it's colorful, and it's pretty. And then she got the mocha, the big one that was like the coffee one. And I'm like, Jamie, you drink caffeine like all in different forms all throughout the day. But of course, I can't argue with her.
Yeah.
But she was like, it's not the caffeine. She's like, it's my husband. He's affecting my nerve. She knows nervous. She knows the word nervous system
Yes.
because I talk about it all the time. She's like, it's my husband affecting my nervous system. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
was,
then I'm like,
I was
I
pretty
need to
much
talk
like
about
that when I was on caffeine. Like throughout the day, I was just busy, going.
Yeah.
Always had my drug of choice.
Yeah. And she did talk about, I said, I just wish you would quit. Cause I see so many changes in me, even like the way that I was having, her and I kind of got into it about something and how I put my foot down when before I would always say things like, oh, are you mad at me? Oh, is that bad? Did I do something wrong? Are you mad? Are you mad at me? I don't care if she's mad at me now. Like I'm so different. And I just told her, I said, oh man, if you just quit everything, which of course we can't
Yeah.
expect everybody to quit. I was like, I would just love to see how you would change. And the things that you think are stressing you, like your husband, it really is your nervous system. And she was like, well, I know when I quit drinking for 2 years, because she got in trouble with the law and she had to quit for a while. She's like, I was the life of the party. I was I was fine. Nothing happened to me. I was like, Jamie, I quit alcohol too, and I was fine, but I was on caffeine,
Yeah.
and you were still on caffeine when you quit alcohol. She's like, oh, you're right. I was. Yeah. So see, people just don't.
Yes.
They never get it. They never get it.
Never. And it's not about like we don't even want to argue. Like we never actually
No.
wanted. I think why we were a little bit like, I think when my recovery was so hard for me, I have different style for putting this information out because I was in a fight or flight state. You can see probably that in my early videos, like how some can, but I can see how I was like.
You're just so calm. Like
Pushy.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah, but I
maybe
was
I'll be that
pushy.
way.
I don't know. I was pushy because I couldn't like tolerate anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
That's how you felt. That's how you felt safe.
Yeah, that's how I felt safe, and I was just, I couldn't, my nervous system wasn't safe. Like I was just, that feel like I cannot even describe that feeling. Only those who are in recovery, they know when you have anxiety that you cannot control, when your brain chemistry is like out of whack in that neurochemical shitstorm going on, when you cannot control your nervous system going back to, like, it's just like, it's awful, but that will go away. That has gone away.
Yeah.
Oh my
It calms down.
goodness.
It calms down. Yeah, I just think that. Oh, but that's what I was saying, because I mean, in that moment, I thought of you. I was like, oh, I just wish that I had someone like Ani who understands me and agrees with me. But I think, or not just agrees with me, but understands and gets it. But here's, I'm hanging out with my friend from 26 years, and I know, okay, yes, I love her. I wanted to hang out with her, but the reason why I brought all that up, but just besides telling the story, but is because I really do believe that once we get to a certain part of recovery, we do put ourselves in situations so the old wounds can surface.
Yeah.
Because she reminds me a lot of my mom. She's very busy, and she doesn't like questions if she has to repeat herself. And I'm very detailed, and if I had a question, I would ask her again, even though she already told me, but maybe I'm asking in a different way. And that's when we got into it. I had said something. I was like, she's like, yeah. She's like, you keep asking me, and it's irritating me. And I was like, oh, well, I said, well, that's on you. I'd never talked to it like that before. I said, oh, well, that's on you. And she goes, I said, am I irritating or are you irritated? And she was like, Right? And my mom was like that. My mom was very dysregulated on lots of caffeine, and she'd be very irritated with me my whole life. Like every time I talk, it was just like sighs and and I'd say, "Why are you sighing?" I caught on to it as a kid. And she'd go, "Oh, I'm just taking a deep breath." Just because and I know I've talked about this before.
Yes.
I'm just taking a deep breath, like, and I was like, I think it was about me. But as a kid, I really thought it was about me,
Yeah.
not that she was dysregulated. And so, like, my friend, was I being annoying to her? Yes. But am I annoying though? No.
No, no. You are just yourself and
Yes.
letting the be. That's
Yes. Yeah.
that's so cool.
So,
And even with when we met, even we haven't met in the like real life, we will one day for sure.
yeah.
But
Yes.
um I have had these few friends in my life that I have really good connection, but some reason when I was on caffeine I always kind of I don't know, it kind of was my habit even with relationship that I just don't connect, like I just quit, like what is that, interaction, like I can just be like months and months and not having interaction. That's my old behavior because I just feel like, I don't know how I feel, I just feel like that neglect, or even it's not for that person, even it's just something that I just go to myself and I want to isolate. But now
Yeah.
actually I did notice that when we met we were still like a lot of in recovery. I tried to do that with you too, like I started to back down and no, I cannot trust anyone. And but then I
Mhm.
started to trust, and
Mhm.
we became friends, and that's have been now happening with all other relationships too, like even with my ex-boyfriend I can just, we can joke around, and like I know he's an amazing person as he is, even he has his own stuff, like that just gets so much better,
Yeah.
like
And I remember, and then my personality or this my response is I'm very aware of things, and so I would sense I mean,
mm,
I'm very
mm,
hyper aware of just even words, and I would sense it, and I'd be like, "Oh, do you need to take a break or whatever?"
yeah,
And like give you your space. But then I feel like because I was that person for you, instead of getting offended or I gave you that space of where you needed to be in that moment instead of taking it personal, because for some reason
yes,
maybe at another time I would have taken it and I think that there was some moments because it did open up a wound of abandonment. But I think because I was so much more recovered or recovering, that I was like, Mandy, it's not about you. This is how it's not that she's mad at you or whatever. It's about her. And so I was able to give you that space. And I think by doing so, it in turn, you got to go through your process the way you needed to. And then it did make you feel safe. And then it made our connection stronger.
yeah, because I think we were about, it was 5, I said that we were, I said that let's take 6 months break, then it was like then,
Yeah.
but it was actually I think 5, and then when I said it after that I was a little bit what I did do, like what I did do, I should have maybe done that. I thought about that, like it's really, I started to feel like that shame, but even I in a way I knew that for us both it was a good to take that break, maybe then I think it was,
Yeah.
in
I
a
think
way it was a
so.
good, because we still had our stuff.
Yeah. And maybe I did say or do something that triggered you and we got frustrated or something, but like again,
I don't
if
think
I
so.
even if I did, but see that like that's an old wound to me, like thinking like, did I say or do
I don't
something
think
that
I still had my issues. I think that's the,
right. And we both did. And so that's why I do think it was good because I agreed. I was like, this might be good because we were both just like I mean, it's this journey can be so
yeah.
challenging, and we were both like, ah, and we were both wanting to be 100% so
Yeah,
bad,
yes,
and
yes.
we were having our better days, but then we knew that. So, but we were both free from everything, and the fact that whatever it was coming up in you or in me, we couldn't tolerate it. So, like my friend Jamie, she's on substances, and so she can tolerate, like, even though she does get irritated with me, she tolerates it by and that's another thing she did. So she was actually really upset with her husband about something, but she was kind of taking it out on me, and that's when I was like, hey, what's going on here? It was one morning. I wake up early. I'm making eggs and bacon. I'm in a good mood, and she's just like, ah. But she doesn't think she's being affected. She thinks it's her
Yes.
husband, and I'm like, oh. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I forget what I was saying now, but I feel like, what was I saying? In me, oh yeah, she was getting really irritated with her husband, and one night, I think it was like Friday night, she she usually doesn't drink until like a certain time, like 4 or 5, but we were on a break and she just went into the refrigerator and got a beer. And I was like, oh, like you could just see that she needed it. And I'm
Yes.
like, how much of this is she getting upset with her husband so she can have that excuse to use the beer, to drink the beer, to
Yeah.
calm her nerves?
Yes.
She's like, I need to calm my nerves. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You need
So
to,
many
so
people
it's
actually
interesting.
does that. I remember in my past, some people always have said that, oh my God, you're so difficult. I need to not say that I have been difficult, but like that is
Yeah.
like, it's like you are always the reason why somebody have to use something. Like I cannot stand you. Like you're just
Right.
like,
And they're making that excuse, and their
yeah.
nervous system is making that excuse to use. They have to have an excuse. They can't blame themselves. I can't. The other day, I couldn't blame myself. I had to blame my husband for not helping me with the sink when I wanted him to help me. Like I needed him to do it like that moment in that moment. And I'm not usually like that.
Yeah.
I usually am like, yeah, we'll take care of it whenever. But for some reason, I was like, it needs to be taken care of right now. And my brain was doing a thing. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I love her. I do want to hang out with her. We do have a good time. But I think I'm pushing myself to hang out with her more because I'm learning so much about behavioral stuff just from hanging out with her. And what else is interesting, so like I said, I'm like up in the morning and being
Yeah.
Mandy and fun, fun and chipper or whatever, goofy,
Yes.
having energy. And it takes her a while, and then we start working, and then she would have her beer, and we're driving. She drinks and drives. I don't know if I should be talking about that.
Oh my.
But she was, I'm sorry. Well,
Yeah.
she had her beer later. She
Yeah.
wasn't drinking and driving, but she
Yeah.
has before. But and then she is different. We're on the same level of like,
Yeah.
because it took me this long for my dopamine to be naturally that way. And then she needed the beer for us to be on the same level.
Yeah.
And we went to the grocery store, and she also smokes weed. And we went to the grocery store, and so she was more on my level. And we kind of have a good time because we're goofy. But I don't know if I can or want to keep tolerating her being on substances. But like I said earlier, the reason why I'm doing it now is because I can, because for so long I couldn't.
Yes. Yes.
But we had a good time. We're fun. We like talk to people and we goof around with people. And the lady checking us out, there was a lady bagging, and because my friend bought beer for her and her husband, and I'm just standing there, and I try to pay, and my friend's like, no. And the other lady's like, you need to check her ID for, they're not old enough to drink. And I thought she knew that girl. I thought she was messing with her. And she was like, oh, are y'all just down here on vacation? And she's like, no, I'm a local. I'm a local. And she's like, and then I'm like, oh, they don't know each other. And then she's like, well, what are y'all, in y'all's 30s? And my friend was like, no. Jamie was like, no. And then I was really starting to think she doesn't know us. And then I look at her and I was like, we're 40. We're both 46. And she's like, no. And that made me feel really good, But then what if she would have said, y'all look like y'all are in y'all's 50s? Then would that have made me feel bad,
Oh my.
So
Oh,
it
that's
was,
just
so again, it's like, it's just people's opinions. And then the girl, she was maybe in her 20s, but she was kind of, you could tell she was kind of had a rough lifestyle. She's like, my mom's y'all's age, and she looks like she's 60. It was just funny. It just felt like a good compliment. But I do have to be careful because I do like that. But then if somebody says something bad, then it could hurt me. So I want that. I just want to feel good in my own skin,
Of
which I
course.
do more and more, to where no one can make or break me because of their words
Yes.
and their feelings. Yeah.
And that's so nice. And I just, when I hear that you have been like doing that linen work and being with your friend, it makes me happy because like we cannot lose our friends, because like we did lose so much in recovery. Like lose, I say lose because we did actually lose connection for a while. in
Yeah,
recovery. We did. I like that can be like my heart goes out with
totally.
so many people who says that there are actually people who have messaged me. They have had divorce, they have lost everything, you name it. And this is true with caffeine. With caffeine, this happened. So, but
It
anyway,
does.
what we get back is more. It's more connection. It's more like
More.
more health,
So true.
better health. So it like you know Kato. Kato is your friend, or you have been talking. I remember in one of the Kato's videos, he said that the real you is there all the time, but you cannot just connect with that or something like that. That's how it is
Yeah.
in recovery. You are there, but you are almost like a bubble, like ah. Then when you get out, like you are like, oh my god, I get out from the prison. Like
Totally escape. You're free. It's so
yeah,
true. And you can connect with yourself, you can connect with others. And so I did feel, there is that part of me that's like, okay, because I just consciously think that, like, okay, am I going to be able to keep hanging out with her? Is it going to frustrate me? I don't know. I think that we think that when we're in the depths of it, that we can't hang out with people that consume substances. But I have a friend who's 15 months ahead of me, and she's the same way now. She's like, she thought that, that she wasn't going to be able to hang out with people at first. Like, we can't hang out with people that do things. I don't know. I think we, like I said earlier, we have those choices. So I can hang out with her, and then if it gets too much, and then about around 3-4 days, I was starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed, and it's like, I just want to go, but and
yes,
then I can leave and I can just do my thing.
yes.
And I went to the beach by myself, and I don't think it's black and white. I don't think it's like
No,
I can't do this. I think we can
no.
we can choose.
We are still living in the world. Like I wanna
Right.
be around, and maybe one day I even wanna go into street work. Who knows if I wanna help people in the street who are having like those drugs, and I cannot say then, oh, I cannot go to streets because oh, those people are in drugs.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
you will go to do that. That you can still hang around and be around with other people who are doing drugs, or they are drinking their coffee, or they are drinking their Red Bulls or smoking cigarettes. You cannot go anywhere then you have to be inside the house rest of your life and don't do anything.
Exactly. Just like with the behavior stuff. Like I said, when we're working, or you can't, it's like, oh, I can't hang out with that person, or that person upset me, then
Yeah,
we don't want
it's
to spend our energy on that. Like, that's not, especially if you don't have the substances to fall back on to ruminate about it all night. Like, like the thinking about it and the stress from the substances is what keeps that rumination going, and because you're stressed. So I think when we're in recovery, we're stressed because the brain's missing its drug that it thinks it needs. And then we think like, oh, I can't, because we have anxiety,
yeah,
most of us. And then it's like, I can't hang out with them. I
yeah.
can't do it. I just can't do it. And then you get in a more connected state, and you're regulated, and you're like, oh, wait, this doesn't affect me the same way. I am safe in me. I am solid with me. I have the choice. And
And the most
yeah,
work, if you go anywhere working where are people, there are people on caffeine. Like
yeah,
at least I don't know. And if you go work in the hospital and on caffeine, doctors on caffeine, nurses on caffeine, if you go in the cleaner on caffeine, like everybody, like you just have to
everywhere. Yeah.
go and
So true. So true.
you,
And then,
you
we know in our hearts we're free. We know, just like me being with my friend, and when she said what she said about, oh, I don't drink that much caffeine, I knew in the back of my mind, Ani's out there somewhere. She's in Finland. She's my connection to that world of freedom.
yeah,
And that's all I need. And then knowing that I'm free, and that I can still have I'm safe enough to still be
yes.
able to have these relationships with people. My mom's completely free. My husband still drinks and does his things, and he's actually not a very big caffeine. He is the actual person. I was telling him this the other day, because so many people, they say, oh, I don't drink that much caffeine, when they really do. He really is the one person that really doesn't. He does consume it here and there, but he is not an every other day
That's cool.
consuming certain amounts. But he likes an iced tea. He really does. He says, I really like the taste of iced tea. And I'm like, well, why don't you just drink an herbal tea? I'm like, are you sure you're not getting a hit of the dope of the dopamine from it? Um but anyway, yeah, we learn to just adapt, because, like my friend Jamie, she doesn't really have anxiety. She does, for some reason, And I'm not saying that the caffeine or the alcohol are good for her by any means,
Yeah.
but she's never had anxiety like I had. Like even when I was on substances, I had the mild anxiety, moderate anxiety,
Same.
and I would I was just different, and like she didn't, and I think I always liked that, and so for some reason, but the thing is, even though she doesn't have the anxiety, she's still being affected
Yeah.
negatively, and I don't like that. And I do think I'm planting a seed because she like I said earlier, she said, "What do you want me to? What do you think I should quit first?" She told me a couple of times, different
That's
times. She's
so
like,
cool.
"I want you to know I'm quitting. I am." She's like, "I just have to figure it out." And so I think slowly that will happen, and not
Yes.
because I need her to. I don't need her to quit, but like how awesome is that for her to take care of her
That's
brain and
so.
body like that?
And when you just hang with her and give it time and be there supporting her, whatever she does, she can start to do that. Who knows? Like because
Yeah.
that's just
Especially when I'm more consistent. Well, think
yes,
about it because people are seeing our changes or seeing my change. I know you're on the other side now,
yes,
but like people are seeing my changes, but it's still a little bit inconsistent. Think about when I'm like way more consistent. People are like, okay, I want some of that. When
yes,
you're in the pits of recovery, people are like, that looks scary. I don't want
yes,
a part of that.
yes, it is.
But they give it time. They stick around with us. There's other friends that I pretty much lost. I mean, not lost, but it's just different. And she's that one person that just unconditionally loves me, even though she has her behavior stuff. And but I'm able to just say, hey, don't like that. That doesn't align with me. And she's
Right.
like, well, damn, okay, And
Yeah, when
I just keep going with it.
yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I have
See
listed
how it
my
goes.
withdrawal symptoms there. Like the list is long, but you can find that in my channel. That's why I don't go to symptoms in every single video. It's just, yeah
I
anymore. It's
know.
but
Yeah.
it's there. The info is there.
There was inconsistencies. There was so many symptoms. And yeah, so I think I was kind of worried that like because I said earlier, like birds of a feather, thing. But I know just from what I've been through, and there were times before where I probably would have relapsed before, and I did because I quit drinking. I didn't quit out the caffeine, but I quit drinking in 2006, and her and I were friends then, and we've been friends since '98. And I did relapse then, but
Yeah.
now it's not going to happen. I didn't
Yeah.
even know what it was. I just thought I was being free and being healthy and doing a cleanse for a year. Just wanted to see, still on tons of caffeine, tons of mild anxiety. But so there was a part of me that's like, not that I'm worried that I'm going to go to her way, but I don't know. It's just like, who wants to hang out with somebody who consumes? Da, da, da. No, it's not like that. I really feel like I'm not going to go to her way. It's more likely she's going to come on this
I
side
think
of
so.
the journey in
Yeah.
time. And if not, then it's not her time, and she's got too many wounds, maybe, or whatever it is that's keeping her. Like her husband, he drinks beer every day and caffeine. He's like beelines to the caffeine to the coffee pot. Like he knows. He's like, oh, I couldn't live without it. He's like, because he was kind of picking on me because the next day I was sore from doing all the stairs and stuff, and I mentioned it. And he goes, oh, suck it up. And I was like, hey, and because that's how people are sometimes, and then he's like, when I was in, because he's older, he's 60. He was like, when I was in my 40s, I was da 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 da. And I'm like, well, good for you, But I told him, I said, that's why I told you last time what I had been through, which I didn't need to, but I did. And people don't get it, And it's like no comparison. People that talk like that, they don't. I would never say that to somebody because you never know what people are going
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
But then I told him, I said, dude, I quit caffeine and alcohol. And he's like, I know. He's like, I know. He's like, I said, think about it. You go to that coffee pot every morning, first thing you do. He's like, oh yeah, I couldn't live without it. I'm like, exactly. Like, give me a break.
Yeah.
And so he admits, he's like, I'm a functional alcoholic. He admits it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
thank
But
you. Yeah, we have gone now 1 hour and 43 minutes. So I think we have done good work with
I
this
think
live.
so.
And let's take a rest comments if somebody wants to now ask or but
Please.
anything in chat. We have a mild viewer, but it's okay. We have 5. That's thank you for
Yeah, that's good.
everybody. I know that when we
Awesome.
just
5
pop
people.
up randomly, I cannot expect that people are
Sure.
and we
It's
we
fine.
have
People will
this
watch later.
we have this celebration weekend, Vappu, in kind of weekend in Finland, which is kind of I don't know
What is
how to
that?
explain that. Google that. Ask ChatGPT what is Vappu in Finnish. You can know
How do you
better.
spell?
Vappu. I don't know how to explain it now in English. Mä en edes tiedä mikä
Yeah,
on
I mean, while I'm looking
ylioppilaslahti
this up,
englanniksi.
if anybody wants to
Yupistar say,
comment,
it
we
is
love the
normal
comment.
to constantly have some kind of disaster scenarios in my head and take everything very personally and react aggressively. That is absolutely not my personality. Yes, it's absolutely in recovery very normal, Yupistar. And I just want to say that we both have it too. And definitely it's not the real personality, so don't worry. It's just the nervous system dysregulation and all the symptoms.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Basically, like things are surfacing and it feels really bad, and like, oh, it's this emotion and this aggression, this fear, and it's always different. That is the brain doing its thing.
Yeah,
It's
Jaakko,
like so
we
part of it.
already had the Vappu, but some people have kind of long Vappu, like the one Vappu was the 1st of the May, but it's kind of
So
some people
okay, here's
drink
what
a lot of.
came up.
Yeah.
Here's what came up. It's Finland's biggest and most beloved celebrations held annually on May 1st. So like you said, it already happened, but people are still celebrating this weekend. It combines International Workers' Day with a carnival-like spring festival and is especially popular among students and labor unions. So yeah, it sounds like a big party.
Yeah, some people who have, for example, that they are big drinkers. At least when I was young, they just celebrate not only the 1st of the May, they just kept drinking and like all the weekend. So
is it like our Labor Day, kind of?
Maybe.
We have Labor Day.
Probably.
Where everybody celebrates, does picnics and...
Yes, but not saying that that's why we have not much people, everybody's drinking. No, but yeah, like sometimes it can affect that.
Let me ask if it's like
people have plans.
Hold on, let me well, not hold on, but
I didn't celebrate that in any special way. I did eat sausages. That's my...
Oh, good. Right, eat some meat. Let me see if it's like our Labor Day. Yes, it's similar to Labor Day in the US in spirit, but it has different vibe and culture flavor.
Yeah, you put, if you have that I don't know what is a look. Your high school, when you graduate in high school, you have that hat on. So then they put that hat on in that day. You know, some people that's kind of. I didn't never get that hat because I did quit my high school after 2 years of being that. Like I never graduated.
What?
Because of my anxiety. I don't think so. I had anxiety. I have OCD.
Because I quit too, but I was supposed to graduate in 97. I couldn't talk about this for a while. I was so embarrassed. I was supposed to graduate in 97 and I just kind of stopped going to school because of what I thought was just me being a problem child, but it was anxiety.
Yeah.
And problems from related to that. And my mom, oh, she's just this bad kid. I mean, she was okay with me, but there was a lot of like shame and like talk of like I'm just a trouble kid, But then in 99 I went to this alternative school and I didn't get a GED, which is something that they have here. I did get a diploma, but I did get a actual high school diploma, but it was from an alternative school and I didn't walk and do like the whole graduation ceremony. Nice home theater system, Mandy. Okay, that's my husband. Yeah. I was telling my husband, he just bought these speakers. Yeah, thank you. He's the tech guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't graduate in the sense of like I didn't celebrate it with all my high school peers and stuff, and that was a really hard time for me. So when I went back to college and I did the graduation, and I walked, that was like a really big moment for me. But at the same time, it doesn't make me any better. It's just something that I wanted to do, but like it's not like I'm a better person because of it or anything.
But that's like it's nice to have. For sure.
So see, we have so many similarities.
I haven't told I don't know if I never mentioned that. I guess I just didn't keep that in important, but definitely that was important in that way that I had anxiety. I remember that I was shaking because we have to raise this hand when we answer the question when we are in the classroom. You will come, but teacher, like, I want to answer. Like, I don't know if they do that anymore, but I was so nerve-wracked. I had anxiety, definitely. Like, I just couldn't sit in the classroom. I
You're
was
gonna make me
scared.
cry because I think I have mentioned this either with you or in a video before. Um, I just can't believe how we had. I mean, I can because we both had mild anxiety, but I mean, we're still functional. We sat in the school. If we would have been going through what we were going through now, we wouldn't have even. Can't really have speakers like that in an apartment building. Yeah, when we turned it up, it's crazy. It's crazy loud.
In
You
Texas,
don't have to turn it
people,
up.
neighbors are so nice.
Yeah. Well, because if you're outside, you can hear it. You don't really know where it's coming from, but if you're inside with that, especially with my nervous system the way it was, I couldn't have even. Here's the thing: just listening to a song, my brain would pick it up differently.
Yes.
I could not. It was too stimulating to listen to it loud. But the other day, my husband, he's like, "Let me just show you a little bit," and I was like, "Okay," and I kind of covered my ears, and I could handle it, but I was like, "Oh, that's a little too much." But one time, a month ago, I was doing plant work outside, and he was up here getting ready to grill, and he turned it up really loud, and I could hear it, and I was like, "Holy crap, that is really loud!" But yeah, you could still get them, and then you don't have to turn them up really loud
Yes.
if you wanted to, just to have fun with it. But no, what you were saying about raising your hand in school, I just can't believe how much we have in common like that. Like it was debilitating for me. But that's what I was saying. We still were at school. We took the bus or the car or the however we got
Yeah.
there. We sat there. We were
With bus.
functional, but we couldn't even speak.
Yeah.
We couldn't use our voice.
I'm so
I
scared.
hated it. I thought, okay, and then how like if you got called on to read.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was
Oh
really
my
bad.
God.
That was really bad.
Oh my God. I mean, talk about anxiety on top of just even more anxiety about it. I would try to read ahead just to get it going. And then I started doing the excuse of, can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Every day. Like how embarrassing when people probably knew that that's what I was. Because then if I did get called on to read, I would mess up. And I thought I was stupid. I know I've talked about that a lot. And it was anxiety. Like, hello.
There's so much. And then when I was studying a sports instructor in the school, we had to do these like classes that we have to instruct some aerobics or whatever. So that was a little bit easier because I was doing the movement and speaking. So I noticed that movement did help my anxiety because when I was moving or whatever doing, like do this or whatever,
Yes.
that helped me. But then when we had to do the presentation, standing on people, I was terrified. Even till my 90s, 20s, up till there, like up till now.
Terrifying.
Now I'm just pretty calm, I think.
Yeah, well, in 2018, when I was in my yoga teacher training, I was on so much caffeine. I had actually quit alcohol for a little bit, and I was on so much caffeine. I couldn't get up and speak in front of the other students. I was so
Yeah.
And now I could do it. I could do it now. I'd be a little bit like hee nervous, but
You
at
are
first,
so natural speaker. That's definitely is one of your talent. It's like that's so amazing.
but it was, and I think what made me so frustrated is because I like the spotlight. I do. I like
Yeah.
connection and attention and connecting
But that's
I mean,
really
'cause,
good.
who wants to? It is about the other person because it's not like I just get up and start doing some type of monologue to the world. It's for nothing. It's about the connection with other people, and I love it. And even if in the back of my mind an old behavior would be like, oh, they're making fun of me or they don't like me, but that's just a wound. That's something that's working out because the real me wants the attention. The real me wants the connection. The real me wants to either entertain or talk or have that. So I think that was really hard for me because the anxiety stripped that from me. It was very weird that I couldn't, that I was embarrassed or that I would get red or that I would sweat. Talk about sweating, like terrible sweat rings under my underarms, like embarrassing.
Because it's like
Exactly.
when I listen to you, I think you are just always so very fun to like you're just very natural to interact. Like whenever we do the video,
Yeah.
I can just trust that Mandy does the work. Like
Yeah.
I don't like I can let it, like that's
Now,
so good talent.
yeah, because that's the real me.
Yeah.
But before, man, was it my voice would get really tight, I'd sweat, my heart would be pounding. Now I'm coming back to me. That was some type of mass. That was some type of, and yeah, okay, it was nervous system dysregulation too. But I do think a little bit of it, especially what I have now. See, like what I have now is the wounds, but I'm functional.
Yeah.
Before it was the caffeine. I mean, the wounds are one thing, but the caffeine was messing with my nervous system and making me feel, making my
We could do one live when I have my birthday. Actually, we could do live that we will show a little bit our old photos because I think those are so sweet.
Yeah.
So we could do a memory live. I think that would be fun.
I love that.
Like we could just pick some pictures and then you could tell the story like you sent me once, and you can pick whatever you want in that live, and you could tell stories.
I love that idea.
Yeah,
that would be good
because I like old memories.
I do too, and I think it's so funny because you and I have shared, but I think that'd be cool to share on a video. And then when I was sharing the same, remember when I shared the photos with you?
Yeah.
Like a few weeks ago, I shared some of the same ones with my friend Jamie when we got together, and after I was like showing too many, I could tell she was like, why is she, I could just feel it that she was like, why is she still showing me? Like, why does she love herself so much? Like, but no, I think the reason why you and I like doing that, my theory, is because we did have the anxiety, and that's our way to connect back to that time, that to ourselves. Like, that's me. Like, that was me through all the anxiety and all the fog and all the, Yes. It's our connection back to ourselves. But to other people that don't understand, they think that like, what are you like? Why do you keep looking at your photos? Are you in love with yourself?
No, they
like
don't.
No, it's connection. It's the connection.
There is my internet son. I don't know. Hi, you always say that. He's not my son, but you are my friend. How are you doing, kiddo?
Oh.
Kiddo.
Oh, I love that.
You have been following our or my channel, but this is our channel too. I'm so grateful. You have been following for a while. He always says that I'm a what is your name? But you are a boy, and I think you are 18 now. I think you are already a man.
Is he on caffeine?
Are you on caffeine?
Or what is his deal? What is his, not deal, but like, that's so
But
cool.
You are in my Discord.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I am a very curious
He's a mysterious boy, but
I'm almost a little it's almost like I'm a little nosy. I'm so curious. I think that has to do with a little bit of a behavior anxiety.
Yeah, but that's good.
Like,
that's good. But I'm happy to see you every time. Yes. Always. I could have, with my age, I think I could have a son, because my sister's older son is 18. So it would be weird to think that I could have a 18 years old son.
Okay, I could have a 30-year-old.
Oh my god, you could have a grandchildren. Well, I could too, but yeah, that could be helpful because he could like do all the work and take you.
If I would have gotten pregnant, the first time I had sex, I could have a 30-year-old. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Just speaking off the topic, but it's not off the topic. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But we don't have kids. You don't have yet. You don't have yet. But
oh, I don't know. That would be having a baby at 46, 47. I think it could happen, but after 47, 48.
It can. My grandmother was 49 with the last kid. And it was
well, how many did she have before that? I remember you telling me that.
4, I think.
See, I was told that if you had them before, your body knows kind of and then it can have it later. I don't know.
Well, caffeine-free, everything is possible. Oh, I'm doing okay. This is awesome. And no, I'm not gonna stop saying it started when I was 16, I think. Oh my goodness. I've been saying it too long to stop now. Yeah, I can be your internet mom. Definitely. Oh, and yes, I've been addicted to chai. I remember. Yeah, chai tea, you have been addicted. But it's good that you don't drink coffee, at least.
Wait a minute. So I'm confused. I'm doing okay. This is awesome. And no, I'm not going to stop saying it. Oh, about the hi, mom.
Yeah.
I started it when I was 16. So, so how old are you now? So how long have you been following Ani? I don't know.
I
I
think
don't
you
think I've
have
ever
been
seen.
I think you have been following me at least 2 years because I was pretty bad place. I remember when you first time did come to my live, even I don't know if I seemed to that, but I was doing those support caffeine. Yeah, I was doing in the Sundays. I had those quitting caffeine support
Oh
lives,
yeah.
and probably you did come there, and then we were just chatting around. And
I just
do
don't
you
think he's ever been
remember?
in.
Do you remember?
I don't think he's ever been in a live that I've been on though.
He
Or the name
probably
changed.
he has been when you have been just in the chat because we didn't probably even speak. Yes, yes, 2 years. Yes, I remember.
That's
Two
so
years
cool.
ago, yes.
My brother drinks chai and he thinks it's healthy. Yeah, yeah.
It is. It is what it
I
is. It
mean,
is not healthy, but
yeah, because he's not a coffee drinker, but I'm like, but you're still consuming caffeine. But he's good. He's a
but
good
you are
guy.
still a kiddo because
Well, I
16 years.
know.
Still a kiddo.
18. Wow.
Yeah.
To have this information at 18, you know.
Yeah, that would be what you are just so like I couldn't believe that like you know so much. I'm in your age. I was all over the place. Like, ugh.
Oh, I was a wild child. You couldn't tell me nothing. Well, maybe
Yeah.
if I had the right person.
I don't know. I was just like, ugh.
I was coping. I
Yeah.
don't look I all the behaviors and stuff, I'm trying really hard to just, oh, I was doing my best to survive. Like that's a really cool perspective
Yes. So
to
many
not
amazing things are ahead of life in you. I'm sure.
mm,
So many.
it's really
And
good.
for us too, like the elderly home
Oh
and
yeah. Whatever. This is going to be our time. Hey, we just we just so happened to find out a little bit later. I'm really glad it's now and not later.
yeah, not
Of
our
course,
50s or 60s.
because I was told that one of the hardest thing when I'm on the other side is that like I could have been feeling this good for the last 25 years.
My parents have been good to me, so I never really had the urge to do anything wrong. Also, nice to meet you, Mandy.
Nice to meet you
Yes.
too. That's so wonderful. See, like
Yes.
that's kind of what we've been that ties into what we've been talking about with the wounds from the childhood. So, um it just goes to show that when we have a little bit safer childhood that we make better choices. But if we
Yeah.
don't make good choices, it's okay. Like I said, we were just
Yeah.
coping,
Yeah, it's
doing our
all.
best.
Yeah, it's always
And nice to
okay.
meet you too.
Yes.
Always.
It's
Always. We
nice.
were still good. We were still fun and good and doing our thing. Like
Yeah, we were.
it's all good. But I
Yeah.
did have some fun times. I can't lie. I
I
mean,
had to like really fun
yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Just all the
Miley Cyrus.
goofiness with friends. Oh my goodness, so many goofy stuff we did at
So many.
party.
I don't really follow Miley Cyrus, but I was watching a video. I'm sure at one time when I was on the couch 2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I was watching this video and Miley Cyrus was really big into like cocaine and smoking and drinking and things. I think cocaine. I'm not quite sure, but she's like, hey, because she made a song about that was me then. It was something
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm talking about? Like
Yes.
that was a really good song. She does have some good stuff. I really like Wrecking Ball. It's cute.
Yeah.
But I'm not like a major fan. I don't go to like concerts or anything.
Yeah. What that
But
TV show when she was really sweet in that, like the
oh yeah, Hannah Montana.
Hannah
Yeah, I never watched
Montana.
that.
Yeah, I did
Yeah, I
watch
know
that.
of that. Oh, you did? I love the gaming headset. Well, yeah, it's my husband's. Thank you.
Mandy, what game do you play? Like everybody always
Right?
asks.
No,
Mandy
I
doesn't game.
know. My husband gave it to me. This is actually my headset. He bought these for me. But I
Wow.
like this because I feel like a dork. Not a dork, but I'd say it feels like a character part of me, and
Yeah,
I've been liking it.
that is cool. That's cool.
Yeah. But he bought me these. But that song that she sang, and she was just saying like, "Hey, that was just the way that I was then." And she said that the drugs and the things that she did, like it it was an experience, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I'm condoning substances by any
No.
means, but if somebody did and they want to beat themselves up because they did it, no, it was just
No.
that's most likely the way that you were coping, and then it turned fun, kind of, but it's not
Yeah, and
good.
I
It's
think
not
we
good.
never should kind of, even we do that, we shouldn't beat ourselves up in any
Right. That's what I'm
situation.
saying.
Like
That's what I'm saying.
that's just
Yeah.
my behavior that I have had, and that's why I think sometimes I do that, and with other people.
Yeah. I mean, me too. That's what I'm talking on. Most of the things I talk on, I'm talking on it because I had that, I had that behavior to work on, and I'm still working through some stuff. But I tell you this, the way that I felt last weekend, I felt better and more natural high and more natural dopamine than I did on any drug because it wasn't real. Like I remember doing ecstasy one time.
Yes.
And I felt 10 feet tall and I felt really good for a moment, but it was so synthetic-y, fakey, and scary kind of. And I would never want to do it again because the way I've been feeling more and more, because I know the difference, I know the comparison, and this is where it's at. Like, this is once your dopamine starts to, it takes a while, right?
It takes a while
But
to
it's
regulate.
really, that's God, how God created us. I mean, we're supposed to be able to
Yeah.
function and feel good. And yes, stressors happen, but we can deal with them. We have more um,
Resilient.
capacity
Yeah.
and more resilient. Yeah. And another thing I love too, and I know we got to go pretty soon, but
Yep.
just to kind of tie back in from the beginning of this whole video of me doing the work with my friend Jamie this past weekend, that I would be tired, that night and sore, but I would get a good, because my sleep is so good. I would get a good 8 hours.
Yes. People look at you
Yes,
weird when you tell them you don't drink or smoke
because they
weird. Yeah.
they they want they want to feel like they're not doing wrong,
Yes.
right? Isn't that kind of why people do that?
Here in Finland, if you don't drink alcohol, like it's very common that many people starts to ask you like, "Are you pregnant?" Or like it's just like they yeah, it's like in Finnish, like it's really common. Like they are just like, "Why? Like, are you pregnant?" Like I remember like I have been asked that a lot and in the situations
It's
and
just lifestyle. It's lifestyle stuff. Yeah, it's like it's so embedded in y'all's culture.
yeah,
Germany, probably German. I mean, it
yeah,
is here too, but I think here people have more awareness and they're like, good for you, kind of a little bit. They're like, oh, I wish I could do. Like I've had, especially women, they're like, oh, I wish I could do that, but they can't. They know they can't. Some people say certain things, but when you talk about the caffeine, oh
and
man,
then
it's
you
like
don't drink
that.
coffee. Like
No one,
oh,
yeah, no one gets that. Here, alcohol is a little bit more like good for you, but the caffeine, it's like, what are you talking about?
yeah.
But
Finland, everything is like you have to be on drugs. Yeah.
right. But I think it's because people are so used to that getting their dopamine from that. And that's what I
Yeah.
was talking about. Like it does take time, but when the dopamine starts the way God created us and it's natural,
Yes.
and it feels really good, like oh, that's what I was talking about my sleep. Like I would feel a certain feeling last past weekend and then I would go to sleep and my sleep has been really good. I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm a little, it doesn't matter if I'm sunburned, if I've gotten sore from working out, if I feel a little tired from overdoing. Once I sleep, that's part of the conditioning phase that we're in now or that I'm getting to
Same.
more and more.
My sleep is so
It's
good
like,
now too. Like I'm just so happy.
it's so healing.
It
You're
is.
like, I feel better. When you wake up, you're like, I feel really good
Yes,
compared to the way I felt when I went to bed if I was sore or burned. It's really cool.
it is. This was cool update, and we're gonna do next one probably a little bit later next month, maybe in June. What is now? May,
Yeah.
June? Yeah, in June.
Maybe one at the end of May. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean,
Let's see.
I know it sounds really weird for other people maybe to predict for me saying like I'm gonna have like to predict a wave
Mm.
or to predict my cycle, but we'll see if this is gonna be my last. I'm excited.
It is. Yeah. But now, thank you
And then we
for
can,
all the 5 people. You have been just very patient with us. Thank you for that, and thank you for listening. I put you a lot of
yeah.
hearts, and thank you for
And what's so cool
following.
how people can watch. People watch later. I'm gonna like this video. People
Yeah.
can watch later, you know.
Yes, 2 hours. It's a long time, I know. But those people who have time, maybe in a recovery, they can watch.
Oh yeah, that's how
Mm.
it goes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a
We get hearts. Yay, hearts. Thank you, everyone. And I wish you a lot of like God bless and all the good things. And
yes.
this my English
All
is
the
so
good.
funny. It's not working really well. Okay.
Yes, it does. I
It
love your
does,
English. I love your English.
Yeah, my internet son said that I have improved in my English, so thank you for that. Oh.
Yay. What
Yes.
is your name? If you want to say.
Yeah, if you wanna say.
Did you say already?
I
Yeah,
don't
only
think
if you want to say. If you want
because
to
I
say
should know how to
the
call
word.
you, or maybe I will give you a name. You can be like maybe Tom.
Tom. Tom. What if his name really is Thomas?
Yeah, I don't know. Have a
His
great
name
rest.
is Oath.
Can you be Tom? I don't know.
His name.
Maybe that would be the if I would have son, I would name it Tommy. I don't know.
Oh,
No, I
really?
didn't. I wouldn't name. No. What would be the name?
What name would you pick? What would you do?
That's hard one. It's really hard one. I don't know. In English, it would be easier. Finnish names are a little bit stupid. I don't know. Not
No, they're
offense,
not.
but yeah, like Pentti. Pentti is Finnish man's name. Pentti.
I like Ben. You could say Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
I
is
like the
good.
name Ben. Benjamin. Ben's sweet.
Okay.
Thou?
Yes, you have him.
Is that
And
how you say?
Sao. Okay. Sao. It's just Sao.
Sal. Are you finished? Are you finished, Sal? Is that
No,
how you say? Sal?
no, he's not. He cannot be
I've never heard.
Finnish.
Where are you from?
Are you from
Again, I'm nosy.
US? Probably
I'm
you are
nosy.
from
Now we know his name's Sal. We know he's 18.
Venti.
Benty.
Venti. Okay. Venti. That's
I like
good.
the name Benjamin.
Yeah, Benjamin.
Because our last name is Bartel. I like the name Ben Bartel if we had a boy. Benjamin.
Oh, that's a nice name. What about the girl?
I've had a lot of names picked out, but I don't know. Oh yeah. Madeline.
Yes. That's beautiful.
Maddie. And then call her because my
What is your
Matt.
second name? Do you have second name?
Suzanne.
Mandy Susan. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Mandy Suzanne.
That's so beautiful. I have Anni Pauliina.
Oh, Paulina. I didn't even know that.
It comes from my grandfather. He was Pauli.
Okay.
So Pauliina.
Paulina. I love that. I told you I'm from Southeast Asia. She keeps forgetting.
Yeah, I did.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh, you forgot.
Yeah, I did forgot. Sorry for that. But yes, Southeast Asia. Now you did
that
remind.
makes sense. So, what part of I want to go? You know where I want to go?
Thailand. Yeah. With me too.
That?
Yeah. I
want to go there so bad. I'm going there. It's like a 20-something hour flight from where I live, but I'm going.
Yeah, it's
like
a
2 weeks there.
warm place.
Or Vietnam.
Yeah, that's beautiful too.
But
I wanna go in Texas, I think.
Oh yeah, you will. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I will put the I wanna put the cowboy hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
More than cowboy hat, we're gonna get you some boots.
Yes. And we're gonna do a video.
And then you can get a dress and then do the cute little dress and then the boots and then a hat and then get some turquoise jewelry, silver and turquoise jewelry.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're gonna do a video.
And we can go to the beach and dance Thailand does seem fun. It's
I don't
pretty
know about
close. I'd
that,
want
but
to go
let's
to.
see.
Yeah.
Yes, that will be.
We could go to the beach and do a video with our cowboy. That's fine.
And then
I have a friend in
eat
Texas.
tacos. I want tacos and the Mexico.
The guns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll have talk. Oh, the food, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, but you have to come meet me in the airport because I don't know how to.
Oh, I'll pick you up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll pick you up.
Yes.
My dad has a lot of guns. He's like a gun collector.
Wow. I haven't never had a gun, or of course I don't have. Like, I.
Well, I
Right.
mean,
Do you have like it's just normal that people have guns? Like I think it's not more normal there because of
Yeah,
the
but I
safety.
am. Yeah, and I was gonna take. My dad teaches a concealed handgun class where you get your concealed handgun license, and I wanted to do it, but honestly, just being honest, like the symptoms of anxiety, I was like, I can't have a gun. I don't know, like I was scared, but now I could. I mean, I think more recovered I could, but I don't. I'm not
Yeah.
a gun person. I don't know.
But at least I'm safe with you. For sure.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I mean, there's nothing to be. It's just kind of a thing to like have a rifle or a pistol.
Yeah.
But you don't need it for like safety or anything. There's no.
Yeah. But of course,
there's
there is
no,
a.
like,
It's a big country, big like city.
state.
State. Yes, state. Of
No.
course. But
Well,
even in America, it's a big country. Like there is
country,
all
yeah.
kind of.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, Texas is so big itself.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to the beach, and then
How
just
long
so
it would be like if we go to New York, because I would love to see New York. Like if we
oh,
could-
I would love to go to New York. See, that's what we could do. I don't know how long you could visit for, but like we could stay here and do all the foods here and go to the beach, and then we could, because the beach isn't that great. I mean, it's a brown beach. I mean, I love it. It's an hour away, but there's prettier beaches.
Definitely,
I
I
mean,
think
I'm not
2 weeks is the minimum. I can just stay with you 2 weeks would be definitely what I
Yeah.
would want.
Okay, and then we could fly to New York. I think it's like a 3-hour trip to New York.
Yeah, it's not
Three
so
and a half
long. Like it's pretty
flight.
good.
I mean, it's like, psh. But I love New York. I was there for my 35th birthday. That was a lot of fun. I was on so much caffeine. I was sober for 7 months before I went, and I drank there. It was so I was on tons of caffeines 10 years ago. And I was taking tons of photos. Like I was obsessed, and I know it was because of my nervous system, but I wasn't just like in the moment. But
Did you see the break dancers in the street? Is there any like?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I didn't really focus on it, but they're there.
Yeah.
I could even look up places around here if there's like breakdance places, because that's something that we are different in. I'm not. I couldn't. I would look goofy at 5'11" and just out of shape. Like I couldn't even do any type of breakdancing. You would have to teach me some stuff.
I will.
Because you have to have a lot of strength, like upper body strength for that, right?
Yes. We will have
Cool.
so fun. I'm just so excited to meet you and then see all the
know.
place.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I wonder if we, spending a lot of time together, how we would if we did kind of
Love it because
have certain.
Oh my! I
If we
love
did
it
have
because
certain-
of the guns.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Yeah.
That's why I brought up the gun. I'm wondering how it would be if we would frustrate each other, or like get on each other's, like how my friend Jamie and I did. Not that it would be bad. I mean, I know we would figure it out, but like what type of behaviors we have just being in close proximity,
I
or like if we would just,
hope I won't, because then you kick me out of.
no, or I'd be like, you got to go to a hotel. No,
I don't think we.
No,
I
we
don't
would-
just think we will.
I mean, if we did, we would talk it out, but I don't think we would have frustrations with each other.
Not really. I don't think so, because I just think that
We would
I
have
don't see that
boundaries.
possibility. I just don't see that. Like,
I don't either. Like, okay, if I'm frustrating you or something, just be like, I gotta, or if, I don't think you would be frustrating me. It's
I
weird.
don't
It's
think
so
so.
weird. It's weird how I frustrate people, though. Others, like my friend, how I frustrated her because she's dysregulated,
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how we're both regulated, how we just have fun and get along and like
yes.
not frustrated. It's so interesting. It's like it's not the person, it's the other person that's dysregulated. I really believe that because I don't do anything wrong. I'm just
No,
kidding.
no, we will have fun, and we will do the video for sure, the live in that, maybe a many.
Oh, we will do lots.
Yeah.
We'll do many.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
We'll do updates.
Okay.
It'll be so cool to like have our face by each other. You'll be like, this is us together. Anyway,
Yes.
we're being silly.
But keep it up, guys. It will be amazing. And we're gonna now end this live and just see you. Howdy, or
Okay,
how they
bye.
say in Texas. Howdy.
Yeah. Adios. No, that's Spanish. Sorry.
Okay, but